From the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, Cleveland Guardians right-hander Luis Ortiz is under investigation by Major League Baseball after a betting integrity firm flagged a pair of pitches that received unusual gambling activity from him. The MLB has placed Ortiz on non-disciplinary paid leave. Washington Nationals slugger James Wood announced that he will be participating in the July 14th Home Run Derby. Wood is the third player to commit to participating in the Home Run Derby, joining Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves and Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners. Speaking of the Mariners, they're looking to finish up their series with the Royals. With a victory tonight, the M's would take 3 out of 4 from KC. Sorry, Rob. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch at 7:10. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
It's The Fan on FM.
What's up?
Can we talk about that, or is that?
I mean, you can. We talk about everything else.
It's uncomfortable. My mind was just blown by
Dusty,
new brand manager
and
part-time fan host Dusty Harris.
I've got to complain about him.
Complain away.
Well,
he is right there.
I know.
You could probably voice that complaint to his face.
No, I'd rather tell the listeners.
No, let's do it.
We should not be here right now.
No one is here.
And neither should we.
Well, and that was kind of the point of it. Is the office is it's a bit deserted, and by a bit deserted, there's no one here, and apparently there's no one that's been here.
No,
and we didn't get the email. Sometimes, like on a day before a holiday, you get the office is closing at like 2 or noon. No email, just no one showed up. So it is a bit odd right now. I
bet if the big regional was here, everyone would be here.
Well, and the problem is that the two people that are in charge aren't here. And so if both people that are in charge aren't here, no one's showing up. I mean, that's like...
Well, then why can't we not show up?
Well, because I think people know if we're not here. I think others can fake.
Ortner, would you like to do the show today?
I'm cool either way. I'm getting paid the same.
Oh, all right.
That's
the attitude.
Ortner could call Schulte right now, and they would two-man this thing for the next 12 hours. They're those young, scrappy up-and-comers.
That's what happens when you're paid hourly.
That's right.
We're all paid hourly.
Yeah, $12.50 an hour. A lot of people
say it. Ortner, did you know we're hourly? Did you know that?
No, but I mean, I cut, like, I'm not hourly for subbing, but I cut it down so I know what my hourly is based on the rate they pay me.
I'm sure we could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have an hourly rate on our paychecks.
Do we?
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at a paycheck in...
Yeah, there's one on there.
Is there?
Yeah.
No, is it depressing or...
I mean, it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Right?
I think Schulte would like it, but Ortner would like it, but Bill Gates probably not.
Yeah, it's a comparative statement, right?
Yeah,
you need something to compare it to.
Right.
Some doing a little better, some doing a little less.
Well, I just think Dusty as our new boss,
Yeah.
he could have gone a long way in some, just creating some goodwill around here and saying, you know what, guys, forget it.
I did wonder that. Like,
we're not here tomorrow.
No, but I did wonder, with it being on a Friday, do we get Thursday off as well? And the answer to that question is no.
Clearly no.
But if you're expecting any sort of effort on this July 3rd show, well.
The only thing you're getting right now is the fact that we're all sober.
That is true.
That's the only thing you're getting.
Yeah.
And that's a bonus. Other than that.
The only other person in the office right now is Kurt Ludwig. And I was like, that would blew my mind. When I came and I saw him, I'm like, what are you doing? Well, he's going to meet someone to go drink. So he's just killing time until the drinking starts. But no, the rest of us stone cold sober. Not even hungover, to be honest with you.
Do you think Ludwig...
I didn't drink yesterday either.
Do you think Ludwig has a family?
I think he does.
He says he does.
Well, I think he hates them. So... Maybe not the kids, but maybe the kids.
Well, he only has one kid.
Oh yeah,
I think he only has one kid.
Look, he's got other things.
At least
to do.
he says that.
Yeah. It's
I'm beginning to wonder.
well, he's got that picture that's on the desk, but I'm starting to wonder if that's like
Fake.
like a Walmart photo.
Yeah.
Like,
I
how
mean, it's the
easy is it
4th
to
of
go
July.
buy a photo and then just be like, "This is my family"?
There's our spy right there.
Yeah.
It's Ludwig.
Well, I look, I've known that guy for like 20 years. I've never seen a member of his family. Have you?
No.
No.
Like I said,
Boy, you're
the
on
ruse is up.
you're onto something here.
By the way, John Ludwig just texted the other Ludwig,
Yeah.
Johnny Ludes.
Double lewds?
He says 4 sales department people were in this morning.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he says.
You did the pop in this morning?
He's listening.
Is that so you can send an email from like your home base and then you pretend that you're here and then you leave?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in
Because
sales.
you know when you send an email, it's like from your mobile device. But if you come in, you could probably send an actual email. Although, I suppose you could do that from your home computer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why they need to be in the office, quite frankly, in this day and
I
age.
think some of them choose not to, and then that becomes a bit of a problem.
Why?
I
Why is
don't
that
know.
a problem?
Well, did you see now that there's a growing sentiment? I saw this. I don't remember who was talking about. I don't remember if this was Danny Industry, if it was Dirt and Sprague, but there was a recent survey / poll where the youngins want a sex room at the office where they can pleasure themselves or others, because during COVID they got to take a little break-see and go relieve some work stress, and now that they're back in the office, they're unhappy that they're unable to do so. So I believe they want, essentially, you want like a taboo adult video room in your office. That's how strange the youngins are viewing the whole office experience.
As the resident youngin, I would not like that.
well, I think
I don't want that room here.
I don't-
I think-
it makes me uncomfortable.
Well, I think it'd be very weird.
I'm uncomfortable with you speaking about it.
Well,
Honestly,
everyone-
Me too.
Well-
I don't like that you brought that up right off the bat.
Well, the problem is there'd be one person that wouldn't be, and he would be in there all the time and would be telling people. He's the guy that would be announced, I gotta go take a 15-minute break, be right back. You know where I'm going. And then it's just very awkward for everybody.
Well, I'll just skip right past that and say that happy 4th of July weekend to every one of you out there in Sportsland. We are here. We were not called off the ball
Look
today.
at you trying to push right past that.
We are here. We are ready to sport.
Are you ready to sport?
Like I said, we're sober, so we'll give you that. Other than that, I mean,
We do have a box of wine that someone brought us like 2
Oh,
months
yeah.
ago that's still sitting in
I
there.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I should take that out to the coast.
I opened the fridge and it's still sitting in there. It's like is it a rosé?
It's a
maybe?
rosé because
Yeah.
we're rosé all day
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that out.
And
to the
there is
coast.
a box of rosé sitting in there, so you might. Are you leaving right after the show?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Happy wherever it is you're going.
Rockaway Beach.
Rockaway
great,
Beach.
Great place to take in 4th of July.
The coast is a wonderful 4th of July because you can you don't
Well-
really have to do anything. You just walk out on the beach and let everyone else do the 4th of July for you.
Well, I don't know what each town kind of does its own thing,
Mhm.
I think, but I can assure you because I've been the last 2 years. Well, last year it cut short because of COVID, but
Yeah.
the year before, maybe 3 years. I don't know. Anyway, I can assure you that Rockaway Beach takes its 4th of July very seriously,
Yeah.
and people come from all over other parts of the coast to come to Rockaway Beach.
Yeah, for that.
They have a parade, which is wonderful. You know, the fire
Yeah.
engine spraying the kids with water and the
Sure,
whole
and they're
thing.
handing out candies and whatnot.
Yeah,
Maybe
and,
some
you know,
taffy.
all the local community leaders in their floats and stupid things
There's a
like
mayor like in a '93 Corvette, and he's waving
Exactly.
at people.
that. It's just Americana,
Yeah.
and then American flags everywhere, and then they have the Wiener Dog National Race, which is a huge deal.
That's fantastic.
And that's at 1:00, and then the fireworks, both on the beach and in the city up north,
Mhm.
are I'm telling you, it is like
Nice.
I don't know other places on the coast and what they do on 4th of July. I don't know. I've not been. All I can tell you is that I don't think any of them could beat what Rockaway Beach is putting together
Mhm.
for 4th of July.
Well, we used to go to Pacific City a bunch.
What happened there?
And I would tell you, I don't remember anything necessarily parade-esque because we always stayed like on the outskirts of town. What is that, like Tierra del Mar? Like that's those. There's like it's like a 12-block thing right in front of it. We always stayed in those homes, and I don't really remember any parades. But once the lights started going down, if you just walked out to the beach, there was always a bunch of bonfires. bunch of people were lighting off fireworks, bunch of people drinking. Like, it's just one big beach party, but I don't think necessarily that's a town thing, you know? I think maybe on the dunes they did that, but we always just kind of stayed over on the beach, and it was always a great time. And there was plenty of people there. Like, you could just kind of wander from house to house and fire to fire. But I don't know if the city, because it sounds like Rockaway, like the entire city.
It's the whole thing. Yeah, and they closed down. You can't drive through there.
Yeah.
So if you want to drive through there, you need to get there tonight.
Yeah.
So people come from all over, and they hang out for the parade, and then the wiener dog races, and then they watch the fireworks.
Yeah, Texas saying a lot of people their towns are switching to drone shows. I have seen that.
Drone shows.
Well, people like fireworks are very polarizing, you know, because the dogs hate them.
Yeah.
And, you know, the whole
dogs.
the fire thing. So I have seen that a lot of the communities now are doing big drone shows.
What does that mean?
You haven't seen the drone shows? So you get like, you know, a couple hundred of these little drones, and they all do synchronized, what you would think is a fireworks display. It's a light show with drones.
Oh.
So they go up there and they do flags, and they'll do eagles, and you got the big American, you know, proud to be an American, where at least something.
I'm free.
It's one of those.
Can you pull up beer? BEEBWR.
Oh,
beer?
we're doing the Myers-Leonard.
Well, I just think today we need to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of day.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So there's a lot of places, you know, fireworks are kind of controversial, and a lot of towns have stopped doing them. Like when I was growing up, the Vancouver, Fort Vancouver, that was one of the biggest fireworks displays on the West Coast, and we don't do that anymore. They shut that thing down a bunch of years ago.
I used to work at when I first moved to town. I worked at what's it called right there on the DoubleTree right on the water there.
Yeah, there's like a red line. There's I think it used to be a red line.
Well, it's a DoubleTree on the Oregon side.
Okay, yeah, because they're right across.
I worked at that.
Yeah,
and the one burned down. The one on the east side of I-5 is the one I worked at, and they have that beautiful view of the river.
Mm-hmm.
We had the best.
I bet.
Oh my God, the best view of those fireworks every 4th of July right out our window.
Yeah, we went like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I think that was the last. They just stopped. They're expensive. It's hard, and
I get it.
Yeah,
but
so
that was a good. That was a good show.
One.
Yeah,
but I still think there's like I know Washougal does one still. I think some of the suburbs still put them on from a community, but yeah, it's you know, the 4th of July out here isn't quite what it used to be. I think we celebrated a little harder.
Yeah, 4th of July is cool, but it's not my favorite time of year.
Yeah, like I said, it's
other than the weather.
It's polarizing.
I mean, I don't know. The fireworks are fine.
Yeah.
I never really got into them. But it gets kind of hot sometimes, and then it's like, I don't know. Yeah. Like if I let me give you a choice.
Give it to me.
So the rest of your entire adult life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You either have Christmas time.
Oh, stop it.
With holiday cheer.
Yeah.
Presents. But it's cold.
Yeah.
It's wet. It's gray. It's dreary. Mm-hmm. Or I'll give you 4th of July time with fireworks, Americana, summer, graduations.
So you give me like 3 to 4 weeks of Christmas. Basically, you give me December or July, Christmas every time. It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not close, is it?
No. Some people do say that 4th of July is their favorite or their second favorite.
I mean, this weather's pretty good, dude.
It's great. Well, and it's not that hot right now. We're just
I know.
This is perfect.
That's what
but
I'm saying.
There's something about I got to be careful how I want to say this. Okay. Christmas is universal.
Yeah,
cheer.
flag! America, yeah!
You don't have to be...
Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah. You don't have to be Christmas.
Hey.
You don't have to be Christmas guy to enjoy the holiday season. It's kind of fun for everyone. That's why you do people do the holidays. It's winter solstice, whatever you want it to be. You want to be a pagan, godless heathen, you can still enjoy Christmas time. I think people are just in generally good moods, right? It's time of giving. You do a lot of like charity work. It's great. We've got the Christmas carols, all that. And I love the 4th of July, but it can get a little
fat, uneducated, beer, trucks, balls, flags.
How about this? Dude? It gets a little Kid Rock, and while
it
and
does.
while
screw the learning people.
Yeah, I don't. And I guess there's a place. There's a place for that. It's just
let me jump in.
Yeah. I don't want to offend anybody.
No, I know what you mean. And look, they know what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not beat around the bush. Let's just say that there is a bit of a war over our flag.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, I'm going to read something to you. So we're going out to Rockaway tonight and staying at a friend's place. she sent out a group text about, here's the address, here's what we need you to bring, things like that.
Sure.
At the end of it, she said, here's our mission. She said, we shall take back patriotism. We shall take back the flag. We shall take back country music. We shall take back Eagles. We shall take back drinking too much. And anything else these yahoos are trying to steal from us.
That is phenomenal.
And quite frankly,
yes.
I stood up out of my, I was at lunch at the time. I stood up out of my chair and I saluted her.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you know what?
Bravo.
Michelle.
Bravo.
You are absolutely right. And she's right.
Yes.
She's right.
Yes.
Listen, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on. This is America.
Yeah.
And we both love it.
Yes.
So let's both celebrate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And it didn't, and that, I guess that's my thing, is the 4th of July didn't used to be so divisive.
No.
And now it
kind of is.
And now it kind of is.
I love the 4th of July, but
yeah, so
look, it's not in my top. It's not in my top 2 or 3.
Well, Christmas is number 1, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just everything. I mean, come on.
Come on.
Come on. And then if you want to, you got Halloween, you got Thanksgiving.
I'm
you
out
got
on Halloween.
You got the 4th. Yeah, you're not a big Halloween guy. You get the 4th of July. I mean, you want to do like a Memorial Day sort of thing.
I like Labor Day.
You can do Easter. You got Labor Day.
It's usually nice weather and you get a Monday off.
Yeah. It's nice, but I'm very much pro 4th of July. Absolutely. I just wish we could tone it down. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you always say with the high T? 33% less.
33.6.
I think we should. I wish we could turn down kind of the hillbilly idiot vibe, like 33.6. I'd even take like 23%. Just like who was last year? Like, and I feel bad for the guy, but it was the guy last year, right? He was in South Carolina and he was wearing American flag overalls and like an Abraham Lincoln top hat, and he put to own the libs. He like put a mortar on top of his head and lit it. It blew his damn head off.
Ooh.
Like that. Yeah.
So is he still alive?
No, no.
Does he have a?
Well, no,
so he doesn't have a head.
Is he a horseman?
walking around with a
well, and like the worst part was like
pumpkin?
his family was there watching, and they were like, I swear to God, you can look it up. They gave an interview, and it's like he died doing what he loved. You're like, what? Being an ignorant ass?
Whatever.
Like,
Look, celebrate how you want. I don't care.
That's not.
Turn it up. People turn it up, and that's fine. It's just that
to 11.
It just can't be.
Turn it up to like 8.
It just can't be only yours. You can't be doing that. Okay?
Yeah.
It's all of us.
We just we've come to celebrate morons. And
I don't celebrate morons.
And I
don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know. You know what I'm talking about. The idea of being what is the fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life.
I beg your pardon.
And it's not something that should be ultimately celebrated like all the time. Like, yeah, I'm as dumb as can be. I'm gonna put this mortar on my head for America. No, dude, you blew your head off in front of your wife and kids.
We laugh at those people sometimes.
And then your wife's like, he died doing what he loved. Well,
yeah, flag, America, yeah.
You're not gonna change that.
No.
All I'm saying is that those people turn it up. You turn it up. This is their Super Bowl. Okay, yeah. I'm okay with that. But listen,
let's go back.
We need some respect.
Yeah.
That it's not just your flag in your country.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
just because I didn't vote with you.
It's everybody's.
It's all of ours.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wrap my ass in a flag, and I'm gonna be running down Main Street.
You gotta turn it up too at Rockaway.
At Rockaway Beach.
You hopefully listen to Myers Leonard.
The only difference is I'll have a fedora and a cigar.
You're gonna have a BEER beer.
Beer. Hey guys.
Beer.
All right, I'm gonna give you this on the way out.
Yeah.
This is only our first segment. Can you believe that? Wait, where is it? You said, Will?
I can play it if you want me to.
Where is it?
It's on the benchmarks page.
Okay, thank you. It's a little on-air producing for you guys here on a holiday. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm going to play this. This is going to play us out of our first seggy because it's going to set the tone for the GD day.
It's got a really long intro, though. We should have skipped ahead a little bit.
Well, here we go. Okay. All right. We will be back with maybe some sports talk on the fan. Yeah.
Yeehaw!
I want to blow my head off!
Yeah! I don't even have a southern accent, but I'm going to sing with one for some unknown reason.
This is Myers Leonard, by the way.
Yeah.
The real Myers.
Who's from Illinois.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Thanks to our fan listeners.
It's nice to have you along here on a 4th of July Eve.
This is a BEER beer segment. Woo!
That's right. Let's
Myers. Do you think as his music keeps going, he'll just get more Southern? Like the accent will get thicker and thicker and thicker with every song, because he had no accent when he played, because he's from Illinois. And then he dropped the retirement song and there was a bit of a Southern twang. And now he's full on, like he's a member of Leonard Skinner at this point.
He's pretty good. Take a listen.
Listen to this.
He sounds like someone.
July.
Don't you think he sounds like Alan Jackson?
He references Alan Jackson in the song. Do you think he's doing an Alan Jackson impression? He does sound like someone, but it's not Alan Jackson. Huh. There's Alan Jackson.
Here we go. Let's go. Let's go!
He's got a little Luke Bryan in it, maybe.
I don't know who that
Will's a country dumbass
is.
from.
Yeah, who's he sound like?
Yeah.
Both of you sound dumb. It's a combination, maybe, of like an Alan Jackson with like a Luke Bryan, like a horrible version of both.
Wait a minute. Why would we sound dumb if we both mentioned
I
both of them?
don't know. I was getting attacked, called the dumbass. I had to lash out. I couldn't sit back and take it.
No, Will's the young. Will
Wait,
likes
wait,
the.
wait, wait.
Oh, wait.
B-double-E-R.
Beer. No, I said Will likes a good. Will's a country loving sort of
I
fella.
do.
Yeah,
I like this country.
yeah.
You like that country?
Well, maybe not that.
Oh,
country.
this
That's not on
the
my Apple
US of A.
playlist.
No, the style of country I
Yeah,
think
man.
is bro country. Well, Will's like in his 20s when you're.
Well, he's
you
a bro.
You should like bro country.
Do you
when you're
like
20s.
Morgan Wallen?
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't gone and seen him, but I went and saw Hardy, and Hardy writes most of his music.
Did you have a B-double-E-R beer when you were there?
I had a $25 beer a couple times. That was a rough
Whoa.
one.
$25 beer?
Dude, it was rough.
Oh my!
How many
God.
ounces?
God, I hope that's
The
a
tall one, whatever the tallest is.
yeah.
I'm not over here doing math. I don't count ounces.
Well,
Where were you?
The tall boy's usually a 24 if you get
Ridgefield.
the big
Yeah.
one.
Probably 24.
25.
24 ounces?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 an ounce, man.
Yeah, because you're going to do the double, the 12, and then you just get the 2 together. And
Do you
that's
remember college and 32-ounce beers? You remember those? Those really crappy draft beers? like-
40s, man.
well, that was the OE.
Well, you had yeah, but that's what you buy at the store. I'm talking about like at the bar, you'd get the 32-ounce.
Well, we didn't have bars because it was Provo, so.
Oh my God.
And then when you went to Salt Lake to drink,
So
boy,
sheltered.
yeah, the Salt Lake bar scene's gotten a lot better, but we had to supply our own drugs and alcohol when in Provo, Utah.
Anybody been to South Carolina lately?
I have not. I've heard it's wonderful.
So I went to a wedding there one time, many moons ago,
Yes.
and they had their bars were required to have airplane bottles. They had the little airplane bottles.
Are you?
No, I'm not kidding. This was years.
That was-
this
so
was
it was-
probably 20 years ago.
Why don't you just use a jigger? Like they,
No, that to control how much you got,
huh?
they poured all. So the back of the bar, you know how? I mean, I always have romanticized like the back of a bar, the look of a bar with the
Yes.
different bottles and
yeah,
stuff.
it's great. Backlit, top, top
yeah,
shelf, the whole
exactly.
thing, right?
I love that.
Yeah.
There, it was just lines and lines and rows and rows and rows of little airplane bottles
Wow,
of booze.
blows my mind. And so they just opened
One at a time,
That's
yeah.
very wasteful.
Well, I don't think they thought that.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like
They give you one, and that's it.
no, but the plastic. Like think about all
Oh.
the.
Well, I don't care about that, man.
No, you don't care about that down in
Ain't
South
man.
Carolina. Well, that's kind of.
So I'm sure they've changed that,
I would hope so.
but I haven't been back since.
No.
It disgusted me so much, I've never gone back.
No, the Utah one, and again, not having been to Utah in a while, the Utah bars they had to be clubs, so you had to buy a membership to get in order to drink at a bar, and it was like a couple bucks, but you did have to like fill out, and then you had to have like someone at the bar sponsor you, but there was always someone that worked at the bar that would sponsor you.
I remember that.
But you couldn't just walk into a bar
That's
in
crazy.
Salt Lake.
Like
and
if
just,
I'm just driving through and I'm just stopped for the night and I have nothing to do with your church or anything,
yeah,
and I'm at a hotel and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find a bar and a B-E-double-R beer.
yeah.
I can't walk into that bar.
I think
I can't just walk in
I-
and sit down.
I think it's changed a little bit.
Kidding me?
But back in the day,
Are
yeah.
you kidding me?
And then there's no alcohol sales on Sunday. So you can't go into like a grocery store and buy beer on Sunday.
Yeah.
They shut it down.
Well, we had that where I'm from.
I remember being in St. George, and we asked the ball boy where we could go, like to a gas station to get beer or alcohol, and he's like 2 counties over. He was like, "Good luck, you're not
Wow.
getting it here in Utah."
yeah,
Well, you
Utah
know-
used to be like footloose. Instead of dancing though, it was like just having
Well, Monmouth used to
Fun.
be a dry town down
Yeah.
there. Remember that?
yeah.
Or Western Oregon, right? Isn't that
Yes.
right there?
That's why Western Oregon sucks.
Well, I don't think it is anymore. A dry town.
They still suck.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's
trying-
not dry.
I'm trying to see if they've changed it, and the beers in Utah have a lower. Lower alcohol.
ABV.
Yeah, yeah. So if you buy a Budweiser, it's not going to be a 4 point something. It's going to be like a 3 something. And
You
the
candy
and the
asses.
DUIs there are really low. It's like I want to say it's like 0.04 or 0.05.
Jeez.
So you got to be really careful if you do a little drinky poo and then get behind the wheel. So, yeah, 0.05 for your blood alcohol content.
So Gundy wouldn't do well there.
No.
Wait, who?
The Oklahoma State
Oh,
coach.
Matt Gundy.
Oh, and the other one is you can't
Oh,
order.
man. I'm 40.
I'll look, but you can't order. You used to not be able to order 2 drinks at a time.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
So they have to see where the other drink's going.
No, it didn't matter. You had to order one. You couldn't order and be like, "That's for my buddy." You got one drink, one person. Yeah, it was
Laws made by people who don't drink.
No, it was weird. And again, I haven't been down there a lot, and I know Salt Lake is becoming less Mormon, and there's it's actually, from what I hear, it's kind of becoming a cool place, and that people are digging more and more. But it was definitely harder to go out at clubs and gentlemen's places and all that. Although those were there too. There was like one or two strip clubs when we were there, but again, a lot of lot of rules, a lot of regulations.
All right, well, another segment down for us here. Coming up next, I don't know. Do you guys want to talk some sport?
Sports. Or do we want some B-double-E-R?
I'm gonna go get me some boxed rosé from the
I just
kitchen.
like that he spells beer and then tells us
All right.
that it's beer, as if we can't figure out what B-double-E-R means.
We'll be right back on the Fan Sports. Here's Will.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
Sports Center is brought to you by the Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop, a great spot for any occasion. And don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on the Fan, the Mariners look to finish up their series with the Royals. A victory would give the M's 3 out of 4 against KC. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch for that one scheduled for 7/10. Big day for Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. Not only was he named the AL starting catcher in the All-Star game, but he was also named the AL Player of the Month for June. The Big Dumper had 11 home runs, 27 RBIs, and was batting .300 for his average in the month of June. Washington Nationals slugger James Wood announced he will be participating in the July 14th Home Run Derby. Wood is the third player to commit to participating in the Home Run Derby, joining Ronald Acuna Jr. and Cal Raleigh. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
More, please. Golf in the Northwest.
Yes, that's right. We are here for you on this 4th of July Eve. We should probably talk some sport at some point here.
At some point, I'm sure we will.
Got a little bit of Blazer news today. None of it good.
What sort of good Blazer news do you want?
Oh, I don't know, like a good move or something?
Well, that's not going to happen.
Wishful thinking to think that they might make a good
No.
player acquisition of some sort?
Free agency is basically done. The largest trade in NBA history is going down. They're not a part of that.
Wait, what's that trade?
Oh, Houston, the Kevin Durant trade. You haven't seen? They're roping in like 5 other teams.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be when it's all said and done, it's going to be the biggest trade in NBA history.
Hey, I saw KD was going at some fans again.
Well, that's what he does. He's a
Yeah.
cheese butt.
You know what? He is a cheese butt.
That guy is like, Kevin Durant, man, yeah, you're
You
cheese butt.
LeBron,
go yam on you.
what a great slight.
It is.
You are a cheese butt.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
No, I was calling you that.
Oh, well, that hurts my feelings.
Yeah, he was going at the fans again. Now, see, he's stopped using his burner.
Now he just goes at him on his regular
Yeah,
account.
he does.
All right, well, that's fine.
I don't think it is, but he can't help himself. But at least he's graduated to like actually, like he's like, I don't give an F. I'm coming right after you, bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was talking about like athletes have a point. I think it's interesting. I actually think it's an interesting conversation.
Mhm.
You've got the mouth breather ne'er-do-wells who will say to athletes, "You can never win. You suck.
Oh yeah.
Go die."
You lost. I lost my parlay. I hope you die.
Yeah, that happened to Max Homa.
Yeah.
And he got all butthurt about it.
Well, who was the? Oh God, what happened? It was the baseball player that had a breakdown, started crying.
Recently?
Yeah, it was just like a week ago, and the fan got banned for life.
Oh, he was yelling at him out, and he was out in the field.
He was out in the field.
Yeah, it wasn't on social media, but
No.
that was
I forget who it was, but yeah, I guess his mom had died recently, and they were like, were yelling at him, and he like had a full on breakdown.
Yeah, I
like
forget who that was.
started crying.
But anyway, KD goes, so these guys are like, oh, you suck, miss. You're not going to do anything in Houston. Huh?
Yeah.
And you go die, meh. And then he fired back with the age-old, like your mom's disappointed in you. You've never done anything. Like, I'm super successful. You're not. You're just jealous. That whole line of...
Sure.
Which, I mean, it's a fair point, I guess. I mean, he doesn't really know the person that's coming at him.
It's a safe assumption. That
that guy's a loser, right?
Exactly.
So I do like this debate. I like it when athletes... Like, I don't have any problem with an athlete clapping back at a fan, especially on social media, because it's just... Like, you and I didn't have to grow up with that, right? Like,
No.
Like, you played a little bit. So if you were on social media at BYU, what was that, in the 40s, 50s?
It was in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, the 90s.
the old 90s.
And a lot of those, a lot of irrational fans were coming at you.
Yeah.
You, especially young you might have had a problem with that.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you might have come right back at him. And it's like, okay, I get that but we didn't have to deal with that.
No.
The social media.
We
So
did
this
not.
is a new thing. And athletes are I think, some are better than others at handling it. I mean, I've always thought that as an athlete, part of the when you're cashing these big fat checks, you really should be able to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And you should learn to be able, or at least try to learn to be able to let that stuff go, because it's a waste of energy.
Sure.
But it's human nature, and a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that.
Yep.
Kevin Durant is clearly one guy who can't do that. I think that makes him look bad. But at the same time, I totally understand why he comes right back at these guys like, you're a loser. Yeah. Your mom hates you. Your mom's disappointed in you.
Well, it's the ultimate scoreboard.
A little bit, but they're right.
Yeah, but
in a way, these guys are really successful.
They are, and it is one of those things. Though you can be critical of someone and yelling at him, but at the end of the day, you paid money to go watch him do something. Therefore, the relationship will always be imbalanced. LeBron James did not pay to come watch you do whatever it is you do. You bought a ticket to watch him, and now you want to be critical of him. He does have a bit of a point to...
Well, what if they didn't buy a ticket?
Well, but still,
But they watch him. They know who he is.
They know who he is.
They follow him on Twitter.
Yes. I mean, we get a little bit of that when someone on here says that I'm a horrible human being and blah blah blah.
Well, that's true.
That is usually my response is, you're correct. I am terrible. But then I do like to point out that you're the one that listens to the terrible human being and then takes time out of your schedule to text me to tell me that I'm terrible. So it really is kind of a bit of a self-own. But you're right in that more and more like Lillard claps back. Lillard was notorious for that here in Portland.
But he does it in a much more mature way.
Yes.
Well, it's just KD's just child. Like he's a baby.
Yes.
He's kind of a little bitch.
But I think more and more athletes that are raised, and I think it's going to get worse as we go on, because the more and more athletes that are raised on social media and the younger ones, they are not going to take it laying down.
And I don't think that's my point. I don't think they should.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's probably a way to do it. Like here's what KD. Okay, here's what happened. KD puts out a tweet. He says, "Shut up. I'll troll on Twitter till the day I expire. Don't let me distract you, dweeb."
Yeah.
And this guy goes, "If KD doesn't even make the finals these next 2 years, I don't want to hear him in top 5 combos ever again. Not win it, make it, ring chaser." And then he tags KD.
Yeah.
So he's clearly baiting him.
Sure.
KD, of course, can't not respond. No. And he says, "Shut up, Drew. Nobody cares that you exist." He said that to this guy.
Wow.
And then somebody else chimes in. Well, I can't. The N-word.
Sure.
"Can't wait for you to fail with the Rockets." And he doesn't. This is a. Okay, so. Boy.
Careful.
Yeah, deep water here.
Careful.
N-word with the A at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Like.
Yeah. That's not the hard R.
No, it's not like he called him that.
Yeah.
He's obviously an African-American guy calling him.
Yes.
Okay, so he says, "Can't wait for you to fail with the Rockets, too. You should have just humbled yourself and joined Curry at the deadline." And then, "Katie, your mom hates that you haven't succeeded at anything." Like, he typed that. He typed that on his Twitter. From his Twitter.
I mean,
It's unbelievable.
Is there any doubt that just the internet is just a giant cesspool regardless of who's playing?
Right.
It just is.
Well, it's like Buck says, Max Homa, golfer, did get that. And he said, Max Homa is very good on social media.
Yes.
What his bit is, he's a professional golfer, and his bit is, you send him your golf swing and he will tear it apart.
Sure.
And it's kind of funny. He's very funny. It's fun, lighthearted stuff.
Yes.
Well, somebody said he cost him a parlay or some golf bet somewhere along the line with a bad round. He's been playing bad this year, Max Homa, so he's kind of in the doldrums.
Yeah.
And he said, "You should die." That's what he said to Max Homa. And that's not funny, but
no, but see, I kind of think it is a little bit. That's like
that affects him.
Yeah.
Well, Homa didn't like it, and Homa basically came out and said, "Look, this stuff is really starting to bother me. People should not be allowed to say, this and that." Well, as Buck always says, log off.
Well, here's my thing. I had someone once take a photo in front of my house and send it to me. I think that's the only time I've had something where I'm like, all right, it's a bridge too far. Like, that made me angry. And the dude was like, "Well, I was just kidding around." I'm like, "Well, come up to my door sometime. You're not going to find me kidding around." But when someone says, "I hope I get cancer," like, okay.
That's a good, nice hope.
Well, I understand.
I mean, not for you.
I understand the Max Homa thing, saying that's rude, but the fact that you are letting someone saying they can't wish you to get cancer. Like, this isn't like a monkey paw wish. Like, now you're going to get leukemia. Like, it's just the inability of people to let stuff go.
Just let it go.
Let it go.
He doesn't even know you.
No.
Like, why would that affect you?
Yeah.
That's kind of a you problem.
Yeah. Well, and it's real easy to block
or just don't. Why are you on there? If it bothers you so much, get off.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
But guys like Kevin Durant will never, like you said, he will troll until the day he dies.
He said that.
Yes.
He admits it.
Yeah. It's like he's not going to get off of it.
And by the way, big fun first round leader note today.
Yeah.
Because it's Thursday, so we have Buck's first round leader bets.
Yes.
He had Max Homa at 90-1. And I don't know if you've seen the John Deere Classic today. You probably haven't.
I have not.
Max Homa was one off the lead, needed a birdie on 18, and he missed a 13-foot putt. And Buck sent him a text that he should, or a DM that he should die.
Well, and I've told. I mean, one of the first things that I told Will when he first started here was be careful reading feedback. I have watched text, like we just have the little text program in front of us. We have watched that text program literally melt human beings down. Melt them down. Some of them, it cost them jobs. And that that blows my mind that we allow that stuff to seep into our brains. But I really think that that's just society in general. Now, I mean, you've got kids that have killed themselves
I know.
over stuff that is being said about them on Instagram. And I know this is such an old man take, but I just have never understood why someone didn't advise them, or they didn't have they're so depressed after what's being said to get off of there. And then people are like, well, even if you log off of it, that stuff's still out there being said about you. And you'll hear it from other people. And I'm like, but isn't it better to just hear whispers that people are making fun of you as opposed to reading, I hope you get cancer and die 1,000 times and then you actually want to kill yourself?
Well, isn't it also...
But I feel at the same time, maybe that's an old man take that I don't, you know.
Well, I mean, I think there's a difference. I think with kids, don't they grow up where all of their classmates and peers and friends
Yes.
are online? And so we had the same thing in school. It just wasn't digital.
Yes.
They
told you that
kids are awful.
They told you that you were gay to your face.
Right. But
You
it's
know.
like, so I think it's different being Max Homa and Kevin Durant when these are people you don't even know that are probably just jealous of your success or mad at their own lives.
Yeah.
You should be able to let that go. I think it's a little different, particularly when you're an adolescent or you're a teenager.
He's a grown man.
And it's the people that are talking the crap are all people that you know in your peer group that you see every day. You know, I think that's a little different. I mean, you remember how sensitive everyone was in high school and middle school and all that. I think that's a little different than freaking Kevin Durant, who's worth $150 million, and some guy named Drew calls him a bum, and he can't handle it. Dude, I think you should be able to handle that.
It does seem like that you can just ultimately let that and point to the scoreboard and say, I'm in the Hall of Fame, I'm one of the 10 best players of all time.
And he tagged him on there. I think ultimately the best facepalm to that guy is not responding.
Yeah.
He wants you to respond.
Yeah.
So when you respond, you have given him exactly what he wants.
Yeah.
You're so thin-skinned, he is laughing at that.
Well, but that's the old. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday with the ESPN. Was it like Feinbaum that said Arch Manning's the best quarterback since Tim Tebow or whatever? We live in a world now where, like someone at ESPN says something, and then the rest of ESPN spends the month reacting to it, and that's considered to be a wonderful thing. It was Emmanuel Acho had one of those today. I forget what it was, but he had something that was just as dumb as what Paul Feinbaum said. And now we get to spend a month reacting to it. And we just live in a society now where the worst thing you say, the most controversial thing you say, the thing you say that gets underneath someone's skin, the way to poke the bear or whatever, that has become currency. It really has. And you get rewarded for it. You get rewarded with clicks, you get rewarded with jobs, you get rewarded with attention, all of those things. And so like you're encouraged to keep this back and forth going. It's become a societal push-pull thing. And I don't know where it ends. And sometimes it ends in like really bad things. As you said, some of these things have horrible consequences to them.
Well, I think it ends when people just, and they won't, but I think a lot of people already do. They just ignore it. Like I mean, that Paul Feinbaum thing was so dumb. I'm like, I just rolled my eyes and move on. What they're saying wild things on purpose.
Yeah.
And they're doing that on purpose so that you talk about it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with KD.
Yeah.
When you tag KD, you want to respond. That's what Paul Feinbaum wants. That's what Emmanuel Acho wants. They want to respond. They're kind of, ESPN's kind of going down the road of Fox.
Yeah.
Fox started this. All the Fox guys, Skip Bayless and all those guys, they're hot takey. Colin's one of them. And they know that when they push those buttons, it gets people riled up. So the way that the pendulum shifts is not enough people get riled up. And I think that is starting to happen. Like some of those things, it's very clear that they are just contrived to try to get clicks and get people listening and watching. And that may work for some, but it doesn't work.
So
it doesn't work. I don't think that's long. I think that is why a lot of the sports media is losing market share.
But
that's why.
It still works. If you want Kevin Durant's attention, telling Kevin Durant that he is great versus telling Kevin Durant that I hope you get Lou Gehrig's disease, which one's more likely to get a response?
Exactly. But for every Kevin Durant, though, there are 30 or 40 guys who can probably show you their mentions.
Yeah.
And they're awful.
Yeah.
Stuff worse than that.
Yeah.
And they never respond to it.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're adults.
Yeah.
And they actually have grown a thick skin. Thick skin doesn't just happen, you learn it.
Yeah, it's a skill.
It's something you learn, and it blows me away that guys like Kevin Durant can't. Especially, he's a veteran. Like, he's older now.
Oh God, yeah, he's. Like
I get it when
36,
you're
37.
early in your career, but he's almost 40. It's like,
I
dude,
know.
you got issues, man.
Someone said Rob with the hot take. Hot take, Rob.
What was my hot take?
Oh, just that whole thing. They were just poking, you know.
Hey,
What?
your mom's mad at you because you never amounted to anything.
I slept with your wife. Oh, George Costanza.
All right, well, that's our
Time for a BWR.
Time for a BWR. We will be back. History has been made in Major League Baseball, and we will discuss it. Damn it.
Check out the Fan Merch Locker.
There's a lot of people.
Oh, interesting. Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy. There are two Blazers going to jail.
There is.
Two former Blazers.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, not current.
One, by the way, way worse than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the grand scheme of the crimes, it's about as polar opposite as you can get.
Sucker.
Yeah.
I was thinking, do you think that the Blazers rank up there? Because, we had the Jail Blazers era.
Yeah.
Do you think they rank up there with most, I don't know about jail, but like, how would you describe it? Like, franchise that's had the worst dudes? Do you think that
That's a good question. I don't think we have any murderers. We've had some rapes.
Dogfighting.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
had the
the
dog
dog
fighting.
fighting.
Had some shootings.
A
I
lot
mean,
of
there were
weed.
Yeah, we got
a lot of weed, but
Yeah, a lot
God,
of
look
weed.
look back at that now,
Yeah, I know that the weed.
and think of how outraged we were.
Yeah, when you look through the lens of like weed and steroids now, it's like really like that's what we got all bent out of shape over.
God, no kidding. Steroids. We were so pissed about that.
Yeah,
I
like
mean, we weren't, but
no.
the
Yeah,
collective
the general
was.
society. We talked about it like if this was 10 years ago and Cal Raleigh was having this season, oh dude, we'd be pointing some fingers left and right and being like, I want my pound of flesh. And now we're like, oh dude, watch Cal hit some homers, man. It's great. But we the weed stuff, Ricky Williams and a lot of those guys that were just they were drubbed out of leagues. And now we're like, oh dude, it's weed. When's the last time anyone gave two S's about anyone getting caught with weed? I mean, it's like, well, it's legal in
It was a
how
big
many-
deal back
how many
in
different states?
back in the
It was a big deal
was
back
it
in
the
the day.
early 2000s.
I know the idea that NBA players smoking weed at one point was a big deal.
Do you
That
think-
that may be the most ludicrous statement that has ever been said. Is that an NBA player with weed used to be a major deal for people?
It was, yeah. Do you think that Damon Stoudemire kind of got a bad rap?
Yeah,
Because he was a pretty good
he
player.
was, and he wasn't a bad guy. He
Local guy, good guy,
just,
yeah.
he's like weed.
Local guy. He just smoked a ton of doobie.
Well, and he did like Darius Miles would smoke a lot of weed and then be an idiot and like couldn't function. Damon
So he
Stoudemire
was
just-
kind of lazy though.
he was. Damon Stoudemire wasn't lazy. He just liked the weed.
Yeah.
And now that's no different than someone that likes a beer.
Yeah, he got roped in with all those guys. Like,
Yeah.
and Rashid didn't do himself any favors.
No,
he
he
was a
didn't.
jerk, but he
But
liked the
you know,
sticky.
he wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't with what some of the other people were doing.
So, what franchises had the most players behind bars at any given time,
It's a good question.
or with charges, or
that-
with lawsuits?
That Florida Gators team, I know it was a collegiate
Ooh,
team. but
Miami.
that was pretty good. Yeah,
How about
yeah,
Miami?
Miami. There's some. Those were some checkered teams, to say the least. Pros, I don't know.
Arrests, or just arrests.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and you'd have to go back and look. And I I think it's eras too. Like the Blazers, I mean, just
Got a lot better.
they got yeah. When's the last time we had someone? Well, Ben McLemore.
Well, today.
Damn it. Sorry about that. I was like, hey, when was the last time?
Today, twice.
He was like a. Both of those guys were here for like a fart in
I
the wind.
know.
The era has become.
Telfair was only here for like 2 years, and how long was McLemore here?
The year?
Yeah.
Maybe?
So
2 years?
are they really Blazer greats?
Oh, Blazer great, yeah.
You know.
Hang the
Although Sebastian Telfair at one point they told me was the point guard of the future.
They sure did. There was a whole book about him.
Yeah, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
All right, guys, we gotta go. Hell
We didn't
yeah!
even get to what happened with the Blazers.
Yeah, we'll get. Well, I was teasing.
Yeah.
That was a tease for next
Well,
hour.
tease.
Yeah, 2 Blazers are going to jail, and history has been made in Major League Baseball. Will it ever happen again? Next hour on the Fan. Bye.
That's BOSS to 321321. BOSS to 321321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED. But Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, Cleveland Guardians right-hander Luis Ortiz is under investigation by Major League Baseball after a betting integrity firm flagged a pair of pitches that received unusual gambling activity that he had thrown. The MLB has placed Ortiz on non-disciplinary paid leave. Mariners are going to be back in action tonight, looking to get a third win in their 4-game series against the Royals. With a victory, obviously the M's would win that series. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle, Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch at 7:10. You got one game currently in action in the nation's capital. Right now the Tigers off to a hot start. They got 3 runs at the top of the first. It's the middle of the first right now. Nationals coming up to bat. Tigers up 3-0 there. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. So don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Jump back to earlier parts of your The Fan.
That's right. Here we are. Nice to be with you. It is Thursday, July 3rd. In the news is coming up, and in it, do you consider Oregon overly patriotic?
No.
You don't?
I do not.
We'll tell you where Oregon falls on the list of most patriotic states.
Well, and it can be misleading too, because when I think of Oregon, I obviously just deal with Portland. You get outside of Portland,
There's a lot more than Portland, fella.
it's very different. The only place I go in Oregon is outside of Portland is Bend.
Mm.
Where do you go? Couldn't tell you the last
Well,
time.
I'm going to Rockaway Beach this weekend.
That's true. Well, yeah, I guess that's a brief little.
Go to Hood River.
I did not.
You can go down to.
Couldn't tell you the last time I went to Salem. Couldn't tell you the last time I was in Eastern
You can go out to
Oregon.
Burns
Yeah,
if you want. You can go to Pendleton.
Yeah, no.
Go to the Wallowas.
Yeah.
You can go to the Gorge.
I go to Portland.
Go to.
And then I go to Bend. And back.
Go to McMinnville.
That real, and I don't even
Wine country.
I don't even go down the Salem route too. I go over the mountain.
You could go down to Bandon. You could go to Yakults.
I think you
could
could
go
admit,
to.
we go to Portland and you go to Bend.
You could go to Medford.
Yeah, down to Medford. a lot.
Roseburg, if you'd
Yeah.
like.
Oh yeah, down there all the time. Sure.
You go to Crater Lake.
Can't wait.
Do you need me to keep going?
It's the last time you were at any of those places.
Let's see.
The
It's
key
been a
is-
while abandoned.
Yeah, it's been a bit. Yeah.
Um,
You got to book out now like a year in advance. Bandit,
Yeah.
you can't just hop down there for a weekend anymore.
Well, you can if you only got a few dudes.
That's
and you don't really care which courses you play. You
It's
can
tough.
get on there.
It's tough.
But if you got a big group, a lot of people have big groups.
Yeah.
They're booking way out. It's never been more popular.
Yep. And if you want specific courses,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to dictate your day.
yeah, good luck.
Book now for 2037.
Yes. Otherwise, you go down with like a twosome and you take what's available.
Or so I'm told. All right. Well, yeah, in the news is coming up. 2 Blazers going to jail. We'll get to that. But first, we had Clayton Kershaw hitting 3,000 last night.
Yes.
His 3,000th home run.
No, not quite.
Oh. His
Although
3,000th strikeout.
Although I did find it a bit precious when they were like the last of an era. Is he the last? Chris Sale's going to do it in 2 years.
Yeah, Chris Sale's only 750 away. And
no, Chris Sale's like he's got 2,500.
I don't think. I thought I read today he was like 750 away, but maybe
let me look this up.
That article might have been old.
But I just like everyone
Garrett
was
Cole too.
Yeah, they were doing this. So it was really cool, and he was at home and his family, and
It was really cool.
Clayton Kershaw.
If you didn't see it,
Clayton Kershaw is awesome. I mean, and I'm not even a Dodgers guy. Big fan, Clayton Kershaw. Just by all accounts, great dude, family guy, all that good stuff. But I was watching all these baseball guys talk about how this is the last of his kind and we'll never see it again. And then I saw the active strikeout leader, and I was like, Chris Sale and Garrett Cole are both going to get it.
You're right. Sale's only 472 away.
Yeah. And by the
And
way,
then Cole is maybe that's what I was thinking. Cole is 750.
Yeah. By the way, like if you look at Chris Sale, so he is how many did you say?
Chris Sale,
Yeah.
he needs 472.
Chris Sale struck out last year 255. He's 2 years away.
Yeah.
You can't say that,
Well,
that
I
we'll
wonder-
never see another one when Chris Sale's going to do it in 2 years.
Maybe they're talking about just the idea that if you come into the league now, like those are all old guys, the old guard is winding down.
Sure.
So the question is do the Paul Skeens and the what's that guy's name? Jacob Mizorowski's. Do these guys pitch enough before their arms fall off to ever get 3,000 strikeouts? You know, and that's I think the question. And it is a good question. I don't know. I would imagine somebody does. But if you look at what do you think has the fewest? 500 home runs, 300 wins, or 3,000 hits, or 3,000 strikeouts? Power rank those.
That's a good question.
And I have the answer.
You have the answer.
I do, yes.
Well, I saw Kershaw was the 22nd?
20th.
20th.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the 20th to 3,000 strikeouts.
To 3,000 strikeouts.
Yeah, pretty rare.
That is rarefied air.
Pretty rare.
500 home runs. I'm just going to go one by
So
one.
500 home runs, 3,000 hits, or 300 wins.
Boy, that's really good. I'm going to say for home runs, I'm going to say there's less. There's less 500 home run hitters.
500 home runs? No, there are more. 28.
28.
28 at 500.
Okay, it's 300 wins.
300 wins, yep. Fewer or more than 20?
I'm going to say more.
There are more. 24.
24. So we're all in that close. And then you said 3,000
3,000 hits. How many 3,000 hitsters are there?
I feel like, again, there's going to be more 3,000 hit guys.
Than 20?
Yeah. Because I was thinking like back in the day, I mean, everyone's slapping singles and yeah, I'm going to say more.
Yeah, 33.
Okay.
So 3,000 strikeouts
Is
of those 4 feats is the rarest.
Is the rarest, huh?
Yeah.
So eventually we'll get to 22 because barring some sort of catastrophe, Cole and Sale should get there.
Cole won't pitch again till 2020, till late next year.
Yeah. Let's see what
And I don't know how old he is, but
I'll look it up. Well, Sale will get there.
Sale should if he stays healthy.
He just needs 2 more years because you're striking out. I mean, guys are striking out 250.
Yeah,
a year.
Chris Sale's had kind of a resurgence.
Oh, you know what? Maybe not. I mean, Cole's 34.
Yeah, that's
a lot
dicey.
of people are saying Garrett Cole has diarrhea. So maybe there'll be 20. Maybe there'll be 21.
And then after that, it's Charlie Morton at 2,100.
And he won't get there.
He won't get there.
He's on the back end.
So young pitchers are all on. They're on pitch limits.
Yeah.
They never get. They really don't like to get them to the 3rd time through the order.
No, a lot of them are going out even after really good performances. They're going out after 5 innings.
Yeah, and then you have the parade of hard throwing relievers.
Yeah.
So I just I don't know. I mean, in terms of the last of an era, it might be. I mean, it's just.
Well, you look at some of the guys
like
that
Skubal. What's Skubal's? How old is he? How old's Tarek Skubal?
I'm looking down to see where he's even at because I've got the list of active. I just pulled up the list of active guys. Morton won't get there. Yu Darvish won't get there. Guzman won't get there. Sonny Gray, Patrick Corbin, Quintana can roll. I mean, they're not even close.
Skubal's 28. Skeens is 23.
Where is even Skubal on the? How many does he have?
I have no idea. But he's just one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game.
Yeah, I'm like scrolling down, man. I mean, I'm at like 1,000. I don't even see it, unless I'm missing it here. Because I mean, we're way down here now. So, and when you get to that point, I mean, who knows? So much can happen. If you're sitting at like 900 strikeouts,
he's at 786.
Exactly. Like, there's no way to know. There's no way to possibly predict what's going to happen to him over the next 10 years. Impossible. And the same thing with Skeens. And if you would have told me a number, Jacob deGrom is as good when he was with the Mets. That was as good as anyone I've seen. Dude, that, and by the way, I don't know if you've seen what he's doing in Texas this year. Dude's,
he's great.
He's incredible. But deGrom at one point, you're like, dude, that guy is going to smash everything. And then his arm just fell apart. Strasburg was like that. Arm just fell apart. There's just no way to know.
Can you name the other
when
lefty?
You watch Skeens throw and he has that whip motion, you're telling me, I think about that way about the Polish Punisher too, Mizorowski. Those aren't real natural fluid motions. That looks like there's a lot of whip in that arm, and I'm like, well, that's not going to last.
What you're going to have is you're just going to have a freak.
Yeah.
And maybe Paul Skeens or Mizorowski is that freak.
Yeah.
Like LeBron is a freak.
Yes.
I mean, he's unbelievable. He's had injuries here and there, but goes
to German in the offseason.
He stayed remarkably healthy.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was the same. Like sometimes people their bodies hold up for whatever reason. Maybe Skeens is that guy. It's just going to have to be a freak. You have to have a combination of that freakish body that stays healthy, but also freakish talent. Maybe that's Skeens. I don't know. Can you name the other lefties with 3,000 strikeouts? There are three others besides Kershaw. Only four
others?
That's correct. I was surprised to find that out myself.
Huh.
I believe I know one.
And that would be?
CC
Sabathia. That is correct.
Oh, I forget about old CC.
He's the hardest one. The other two should be easy.
With a big unit.
Yep.
Is a lefty.
Yep. Randy Johnson.
So we're missing one?
Yeah. Big old lefty back in the day.
Was like Walter Johnson a lefty?
How far back in the day?
Your and I's day. Like, come on, man. He's like...
Oh, Steve Carlton.
Steve Carlton. There you go. Those are the only lefties.
Well, I was thinking like with Will. I was like, dude, are you gonna hit me with a 3-finger Mordecai Brown? I was like, all right.
Yeah. When you said that CC was the hard one, I knew I was in trouble.
See, I don't think I would have come up with CC.
I don't think I would have either. I'd forgotten that he got there.
Yeah, Randy and Carlton were easier for me than CC. I kind of forgot that too. To be honest with you, I'll bet you that if you gave me his numbers, I would be shocked.
Sabathia?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give them to you then.
Yeah, I don't think, and this is totally on me, when I think of CC Sabathia, I don't think of greatness. I just don't. And I'm sure his numbers are way better than I want to give him credit for, but Like just that alone. If you're talking about Kershaw and you're talking about Randy and you're talking about Steve Carlton, and then you throw in CC Sabathia, one of those things is not like the others, but maybe the numbers are closer than I want to give it credit for.
251 wins, 3,093 strikeouts. He had a career ERA of 3.74. He has 1 Cy Young, and he was an All-Star 6 times.
Okay, well, then maybe I stand corrected. That's good, not...
That's great.
Is that greatness?
Yes.
He was
3,000. He's one of 20 with 3,000 strikeouts, for God's sakes.
What was his overall record?
251 and 161.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
was awesome.
I knew CC was but 6 All-Stars?
Cy Young, he's got Cy Young.
What's all right.
Look at you taking a dump on Cy Youngs now.
I guess I thought that he was gonna I thought the numbers were gonna be like, oh my God. No, those were really
3,000 strikeouts.
Those are great numbers.
Dude, if you did not but we've been talking about 3,000 strikeouts for 10 minutes.
Yes.
That's why you're not impressed by that. If I just tossed that out in the middle of our duck talk, you'd be like, wait, what? 3,000 CC's, oh my God. But because we've been talking about it, you're like, yeah.
I wanted to see what his, they do the like similar.
Who's similar to him?
That's why I was interested.
Kershaw, probably.
I wanted to see where it was at, just to look at the names. Let's see for his career. Come on, well, he's got a lot. Come on, Baseball Reference, let's go. All right, well, there's it's kind of all over the map. You have everything from Justin Verlander.
Oh, that's good.
To Jack Morris, to Bob Gibson.
Morris underrated.
To
Bob Gibson, wow.
Bob Gibson.
He was awesome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those.
Come on.
Greg Maddux, Dwight Gooden, Tom Glavine.
Oh my God.
I stand corrected.
Yes.
Stand
down, big fella.
I told you I was gonna be blown away.
Good grief!
And then I wasn't blown away, and now I'm back to being blown away.
CC Sabathia, greatness.
I stand corrected again.
Also greatness.
That being said,
Clayton Kershaw.
You can't deny that of the ones that were of the left-handers, he is clearly tucked behind them.
Well, I wouldn't have got that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
If you said guess the lefties with 3,000 strikeouts, I could probably get Carlton and RJ. Boy, give me another lefty that you would guess.
And it's also tough too, in that.
Seaver was Seaver lefty? Wasn't Tom Seaver lefty? Am I wrong about that? I must be wrong because he's a
I don't think he was. Sandy Koufax was left-handed.
Yeah, Seaver was a righty. Koufax, but he didn't play long enough.
He didn't play long
pitch
enough. Who else? Who else was a lefty?
Are we gonna have to go through a list of the great left-handed pitchers of all time?
Are we dismissing? Great.
We're forgetting somebody.
I'm sure we are. I don't know.
Well, Glavine was a lefty.
But when you're up there and you throw out Steve Carlton and Randy Johnson, that's
Bumgarner, but he didn't get 3,000.
Don't give me that.
Lefty Grove. Warren Spahn was a lefty.
See, there you go, going back in the day.
Well, I mean,
there's not a lot of great.
If you put Koufax, because Koufax was awesome, he just didn't compile.
Yeah.
If you say he's one of the great lefties, and certainly Randy Johnson, isn't Kershaw next?
Yes.
Because I can't think of anybody that would beat Kershaw.
I can't comment on Warren Spahn, and I can't comment on Sandy Koufax.
And you call yourself a sports guy?
The best left-handed pitcher of all time is Randy Johnson.
I think it's Randy. I mean, well, the best left-handed pitcher I saw was Randy Johnson.
Yes.
I read a book about Sandy Koufax once.
Yeah, and that's why it's unfair of me, because I don't know. To someone else, they're like, you moron, I saw Sandy Koufax pitch.
Idiot.
If I had to, and we've done this, if I had to win one game and I could pick anyone at all.
Peak Pedro.
It's hard for me to pick anyone but peak Randy Johnson. Peak Pedro was ridiculous, but dude, just 6'10" and that stride.
I'm going Jamie Moyer.
He's up there just.
I want salad.
Tossing some salad. I mean, Randy Johnson was stupid good, and I think if you're talking left-handers, and we're gonna do more modern guys, I think Kershaw is number 2. I think he's right there behind him. The only thing that Kershaw has against him, even though he's won the 2 World Series, is postseason stuff. If Kershaw had been Kershaw in the postseason, we're talking about him in a different light.
There you go. There's a hot Clayton Kershaw seggy for you bros out there. 4th of July.
Frank Viola. Johan Santana. There we go.
He was really good for a I don't know, maybe a 5-year stretch.
Then he went to the Mets.
He was like Koufax. Well, I don't want to compare him to Koufax, but he was really awesome for a while. Do you remember Charlie Lee Brandt?
I do remember Charlie Lee Brandt.
Royal lefty for you.
Like we're just going down. Mark Burley.
Burley was pretty good.
Yeah. Mark Mulder.
Yeah. Barry Zito lefty?
No, Barry Zito
was he a righty?
I think he was a righty, was he not?
I don't know. Tell me.
I feel like Barry Zito was a righty.
All right.
But I could be wrong.
2 Blazers are going, former Blazers, are going to jail.
Yeah, trust me. Current Blazers not going to prison.
That you know of. Next on The Fan.
The home of Dirt and Spray.
I'm Dirt.
Is it?
We think.
Trying to bring it back.
Yeah, we kind of are.
Kind of, a little bit.
A couple of Blazer greats
We think.
are likely going to jail. Ben McLemore was on trial. We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was on trial for rape,
Mm-hmm.
and he was found guilty today.
And that was here locally.
Yeah.
Because
Clackamas County.
Yeah.
10 hours of jury deliberations.
Yep.
They said, you did that, S.
Not good, man. Not good.
First-degree rape, first-degree unlawful sexual penetration, and second-degree sexual assault.
Yeah.
Not guilty on a second count of second-degree sexual abuse. So I don't know what happens with him now. I assume he's going away.
Going to jail. I mean, he's not, there's no bail or whatever. I mean, they cuffed him and I mean, you could see it. They walked him in and now he'll sit in prison until sentencing is my guess.
Then we have Blazer great Sebastian Telfair.
Yeah.
Or shall I say Blazers not so great Sebastian Telfair because he wasn't that great.
No, he was only here for 2 years. Although he ended up playing like 12 years in the NBA with a bunch of different teams.
Yeah, but he was never great.
No,
he was never good.
He was not.
I don't even think he was good. Then why did we think he was going to be so good? Just because he was a playground guy?
Yeah, there was a lot of hype. He was, the whole New York point guard, and there was a...
Yeah, but the hype, I don't know. Like, was the hype more just because it was the New York City...
Yes. Yes.
Playground. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Playground?
Playground legend.
It was that
yes.
more than it was his actual skill.
100%.
I mean, in other words, let's put it this way. How many NBA talents, how many guys in the NBA could dominate at that age the New York City playground? Probably a lot of them.
A lot. He had a lot of flair. He had a marketing machine behind him. Adidas made him the face of a big campaign. But at the end of the day, he was a 6-foot point guard that struggled to shoot the ball.
Yeah, it's like,
although it kind of sounds like someone else that had that same thing.
Wait, who are you talking about?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Is there a very small point guard that we were told was a generational talent that can't shoot the ball very well and is here in Portland now?
Are you subtweeting right now?
No, it's just that he had a lot of hype and he never lived up. He averaged 8 points and 3 assists over his time in the NBA, and apparently it's fallen on hard times because he's got no money.
Yeah,
he went to jail because he defrauded the NBA's insurance company policy for a couple $100,000.
I remember that. A lot of guys got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
It was the NBA Health and Welfare Benefit Plan.
Yes.
And they sentenced him way back in 2019 for that. He bilked him out of $358,000.
Yeah.
So basically what they would do is they would just file fake claims, fraudulent claims.
Yeah.
So he got 3.5 years of supervised release. Well, he failed to meet his conditions, his probation conditions. So community service, he had to meet with the probation officer. He had to work to obtain employment, all these things. In a hearing on Thursday, apparently he said a lot of things were stacked against him. He said he just got stuck in the mud. He apologized. He acknowledged he missed appointments with his probation officer. He insisted he was trying to improve as a person, but he was struggling, and he had done absolutely nothing to get a job. And the judge said, you thumbed your nose at your probation officer and me over and over. You're going to jail, bro.
Yeah, but McLemore is going to jail for years. Telfair is going to have to serve 6 months in prison in August.
Now, is this his first?
Oh, no.
Wasn't he already in prison?
He's been in trouble a handful of times, but I don't know if this is his lengthy. But he's had many legal troubles. But the sad part is he made almost $40 million with endorsements and $20 million in career earnings, and it said in there that he's trying to get a vocational job working construction. He doesn't have any money.
Wow.
Like, he's dead broke.
That's terrible. And
he hasn't made so he owes all that restitution. He hasn't paid any of it back, and he said he can't. Doesn't have any money.
So he was sentenced. Do you know that gun charge?
Yeah, he brought a gun on a plane.
He was sent. Well, it was the Blazers plane, wasn't it?
I thought it was with the Celtics.
Oh, was it?
I think that was after he left Portland.
Oh, anyway, he was sentenced to 3.5 years for that. Or a gun charge. I don't know if it was that one.
Yeah.
But and that conviction was overturned.
Oh,
did you know that?
I did not.
About him?
I haven't followed much of Sebastian Telfair, but it's just, we talked yesterday a little bit about, athletes and blowing through money, and there's a guy. Adidas gave him a $20 million contract. That got canceled after a couple of arrests. He made $20 million in NBA salary, and he's he's pissed it away. He's got nothing left to the point where he's trying to get a job working construction and he can't because he can't finish vocational school. And now he's defrauding the NBA, or was, out of a couple $100,000, and he's pissed through whatever money he had there. I'll bet you that's a hard life at this point for Sebastian Telfair, who's, God, I don't even know how old he is at this point. I don't know. Is he like in his late 30s maybe?
Guess.
Yeah, I'd say like 37, 38, something like that. And
he's 40.
40 years old, and this is where he's at. I don't know, from Sports Illustrated and that documentary to this. So, although he's better off than Ben McLemore right now, because Ben's going to jail for a while.
Always could be worse.
Always could be worse.
He's not better off than Myers Leonard, though.
No,
baby.
he is not.
Let's go.
All Myers Leonard ever do was some awkward
what
racial epithets that he was throwing at people. I think he came back to that. He played in the NBA after that. Briefly.
In the news is next. Is Oregon patriotic? If so, are they one of the top 5 most patriotic states? We're going to find out next. Here's Will.
Now, George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. A Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the Mariners are looking to finish up their series with the Royals. Victory would give the Mariners the series victory, taking 3 out of 4 from KC. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch scheduled for 7:10. Big day for Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. Not only was he named the AL starting catcher in the All-Star game, but he was also named the AL Player of the Month for the month of June. The Big Dumper had 11 home runs and 27 ribbies in the month of June. A new player has added themselves to the Home Run Derby. Washington Nationals slugger James Wood announced that he would be participating on the July 14th Home Run Derby this season. He joins Ronald Acuna Jr. and Cal Raleigh as the other players who announced they will be participating in the Derby this season. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on
from the Isaac Park. It is July 3rd, 2025. It is time now for In the News. I'm your noted and humbled and handsome newsman. Hello. It's brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Today,
Someone blowing off your hand. If so, call the Advocates.
National Eat Your Beans Day.
No.
I hear you. I hate beans.
I wouldn't say I hate beans, but I don't really have a need. If beans were eliminated from my life, I'd be fine.
Dude, if you said eliminate one food
Yeah.
from the world,
Beans?
it's in my top 3.
Eisman, my boy feels that way. He can't stand beans. I don't mind them. I just don't ever need them. I've never been like, you know what this dish needs? Beans.
Beans, mushrooms, and pineapple can all go straight to
I'm a
hell.
big pineapple guy.
Anti-pineapple. It's the worst.
Pineapple's gross.
Really?
It's horrible.
I love pineapple. And I like mushrooms, but only it's a different, certain kind.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Can you get them at Winco?
No.
No.
It is also American Redneck Day.
Why do we celebrate? Why do we celebrate this?
Celebrate
Embrace your
what?
heritage.
Patriotism?
See, that's my point. Redneck doesn't equal patriotism. They've hijacked patriotism.
What is good patriotism to you? Like, what are the characteristics of a good patriot? Okay?
I think I'm just saying that the idea of being a patriot now means that you are an uneducated boob, and I can't get behind that.
It's not how I define it. Jerk.
Waiting for my news.
I know you are. Shut up. How patriotic is Oregon?
More patriotic than you think, because you got to get outside of Portland. I think you get outside of Portland, very patriotic. Inside Portland, I'm not certain.
Well,
And that's what I'm saying. Why can't you be liberal and patriotic?
well, you can.
A lot of people don't think you can, and I don't abide by that.
Well, those people can suck it. According to Wallet Hub, now they always do these kinds of studies. They have analysts,
Yeah.
studying these kinds of things.
Yes.
And what they're doing here is they're putting together the most patriotic states list, and they rank 1 through 50.
Sure.
And they do it across 13 key indicators of patriotism. And that ranges from the state's military enlistees and veterans to share of adults who voted in the 2024 presidential election to Peace Corps volunteers per capita and so on and so forth.
By the way, I like that because that is a good sign of patriotism. Patriotism should not be the fact that you own an American flag bikini or Speedo and that you like to wear pit vipers on the 4th of July. I like that. The fact that you're like people who vote. You said the volunteer work or the Peace Corps. I like that.
Okay, Sook likes it. So, where does Oregon rank in the top 50? Guess. Go. Right now.
Well,
Go.
I think we vote.
Go.
I think we're pretty civic-minded. America, we care. I'm going to go like, I'm going to put 15. 15.
Oregon, on the list of most patriotic states here on July 3rd, 2025 is... Fifth.
Hell yeah! What's up, baby? Number 5.
That's right. Number 5.
There's a lot of rednecks right now. They're like, whatever, man. Portland's a cesspool. Bunch of Democratic douchebags.
Well, don't feed into that, Jason. We are 5th behind Virginia, the most patriotic state. That stands to reason.
Yeah,
Montana, Vermont, and Colorado.
I can see that.
Washington, by the way, is 6th.
Hey,
Least patriotic state, Arkansas. Isn't that weird?
Arkansas?
Yeah.
The irony.
Yeah, that
Arkansas
sounds...
and New York.
Yeah. Boy, the Arkansas one, I would have thought the South would just run away with this damn thing.
We were number...
Although, does flying the Confederate flag, see, I think that makes you less patriotic because you're celebrating someone that fought against the country and lost.
I would agree. It would be weird to run around with a British flag.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the America, Southern by the grace of God. Got the flag right here. And you're like, dude, that is like the least patriotic thing that you can have. Whatever, brother.
There, brother.
Check it out.
States' rights.
Yeah, states' rights.
We ranked 3rd in Peace Corps volunteers per capita. We also ranked 2nd in percentage of adults who voted in the 2024 presidential election. Did you know that?
I did
We
not.
have the 2nd highest percentage of adults who voted in the last election
Well, they do,
of any state.
They do try to make it very easy with, I don't know, mail-in ballots.
Right. Minnesota was number 1 in that.
Okay.
In that.
Yeah.
By the way, here's one other little nugget about patriotism. Okay, here on the Fan. Blue states were more patriotic than red states.
Good.
Yes, overall. Blue states had a lower average rank on this list than red states. Isn't that wild?
Problem is that red state guy is going to view your criteria for being patriotic as weak and soy boy, like the
What's his criteria?
The Peace Corps thing. His is going to be amount of merchandise you own with the American flag on it, how loud you yell, how big your truck tires are, and it'll be things of that nature.
Last time you listened to Toby Keith.
There you go.
Toby Keith.
And that's what I'm saying. How did giant tires become symbolic of patriotism? So I'm like, what
is Toby Keith the one that sings "We'll put a boot in your
ass"?
ass"?
He's dead now, but yes.
Oh, rest in peace. That was his song?
That was his song.
God, what a dumb song.
Dude, that dude wrapped himself in the flag very, very hard and made a lot of money.
Boot in your ass.
It's the American way. Something, Uncle Sam, put your name on a list. Something like that.
Dude, you nailed that.
That is great.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, Uncle Sam.
You didn't hit a single word right, but you got the sentiment.
Oh, all right. Well, that's good enough, right?
Put your name on a list.
There's a name on a list, and then the Statue of Liberty started shaking a fist. B-double-E-R,
God.
Woo! Woo! By the way, those giant tires, those were made in Vietnam.
I have Lake O news next on the Fan. I love you all. You're loved. All of you. Mark.
This is the Fan's window into sports. A view into today's top
press on. This is in the news, July 3, 2025. And I don't know if you know this, but it is July 4th tomorrow.
It is. Celebrate America by blowing up a small piece of it. Although I did not buy any fireworks this year. And to be honest with you, I don't think I bought fireworks in, I don't know, close to 10 years. Once the kids were out of the house, that kind of ended my my fireworks.
I'm enjoying the battle between the city of Lake Oswego and us plebes.
Right, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, they're not letting go
No.
of the lake access.
They are not going quietly.
Because the rich people lost. And if you thought the rich people were going to take the hillbillies on their waterways lying down, you're sorely mistaken.
So they closed the lake
Yeah.
for the 4th of July, citing safety concerns.
AKA hillbillies
Get your ass
and
outta
maybe
here.
people that aren't what coming to their waters.
Well, they have now, so they got blowback for that, as
Yeah.
you can imagine. And they have now somewhat scaled back the barriers to the public lake access for the 4th of July holiday. Though they are going to be closed tomorrow for the actual 4th.
The actual 4th.
So a temporary closure order signed by city manager Martha Bennett.
And I'm sure it was completely legit, Martha.
Can you imagine hanging with Martha?
No. I'll bet you she's a... She is not listening to B-double-E-R beer.
She's drinking her
There's a white wine.
her champagne.
There's bubbles. There's bubbles on the 4th. You snooty bitch.
I bet she is a snooty bitch.
Yeah. She's a
Sorry,
grade A prime.
Grade A prime bitch. All right, she's a grade A bitch. Grade A prime bitch.
I still want someone to organize a caddy day out on Lake Oswego where everyone just takes the cheapest, crappiest pool floaties they can have and you flood that lake.
So the Lower Millennium Plaza Park will close beginning tonight at 9, extending through all of 4th of July, remain in effect until approximately noon on Saturday, July 5th. And then it will open noon to 8. Let's see, the lake access point will then be open from noon to 8.
They don't want to see your beer bellies and Daisy Dukes out on their decks during the 4th of July.
The temporary closure is intended to support public safety and facilitate operational planning during the Independence Day weekend, says the manager's order.
Someone explain to me what safety they're like. You can't be on the lake for the 4th of July. What's the safety issue? And operational planning. They have concepts of an operation?
The closure shall be publicly noticed and enforced and coordinated with parks and police personnel.
You're going to get arrested for being... What'd you get arrested for? I don't know. I had my Daffy Duck raft out on Lake O on the 4th of July. Can't do it.
Look, I think that the more they bitch about this, the more I kind of want us, like the plebes, to rise up.
To take over.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Because I really believe that if they just shut up,
no one would.
No one cares about Lake Oswego. Like, just let it go.
So you're telling me that all of the people from outside of Lake O are all of a sudden going to start flooding to your...
Right. Well, they are now
They are
because
now.
you're being so
Yes.
you know,
If
what's
they
the word?
You're
Like,
right. You just-
exclusive.
if you just let it go,
Stop talking about it.
Occasionally, you'd get someone out there on a floating lobster, and other than
Right.
that, you'd be fine.
And you'd hate that, but you'd
Yes.
have to. I know life's tough, okay, but you have to look at that guy floating down your lake. But
from your $2 million home, something tells me you might be able
now
to handle
I
it.
feel like I get where they're coming from in terms of wanting their lake to themselves. I mean,
Who doesn't?
look.
If you're rich, you can afford a house on that lake. I'm sure you want to keep it
But
to
they've been
yourself.
battling. This has gone through the courts. The courts said
You lost.
You just lost.
You
So
lost.
just the best thing to do is shut up and take your medicine because it won't be that bad of medicine. Now it's going to be bad, and I'm kind of rooting for it.
There was a number of years ago, we went down to, it's a guy I know who let me rent his house down in Mexico. And, it's maybe 45 minutes outside of Cabo. And it's in a very, very nice neighborhood. And supposedly it's a private beach. It's a private beach because the only access point to the beach is through the nice neighborhood. But it's not a private beach, just all the access points. And turns out they were having this sort of kerfuffle here, right?
Same battle.
Same battle. And it was fantastic because I guess a bunch of the locals all came in on like the crappiest boats you've ever seen. And they came in, landed on that beach, and started partying. And this was over the holidays. And they had like an impromptu gathering on the beach. And people were livid. And no one lives there year round in those nice homes. It's all like vacation homes. And it was one of the best things I've ever seen, is the people coming down to yell at a bunch of locals who didn't speak English. And the people there didn't speak Spanish, but we got the lay of the land that they couldn't get there any other way, but they floated in, so therefore technically they weren't doing anything wrong. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah, people that have cobs up their ass, it's really funny when others do something to make it go even further up their ass.
Because there's no way that group, there was probably 30 or 40 of them, there's no way those people would have decided to do that.
Exactly.
Other than you told them they couldn't go to that beach.
That's right. That's the only reason they did that.
And they were like, yeah, dude,
yes, we
can. Watch this. You can't get to this beach. Yes, we can. We got some dinghies, and we can float around.
I have a list of the top family beach vacations in the United States. This is 2025. Based off of sun, safety, and affordability. Okay. Does Oregon or Washington make the list?
Top 50?
I said top 10.
Oh, top 10.
Thanks for paying attention.
No, we're not going to make the top 10.
Maybe I didn't say 10. It's top 10.
I don't think you said 10.
I don't think I did. We are in the top 10. We have one.
It's a bit surprising.
It's number... Scrolling.
I hate to do this, but having lived in other parts of the country with beaches, we don't have a top 10 beach. We really don't.
I like our beaches.
You can't go in the water. It's freezing ass cold.
Oh, we're number 11, so we're top 12.
You go to any beach along the Gulf of America, or you go to the beach in Florida.
Well, we have the coast, not the beach.
Yes.
But they are saying that a coast is a beach.
You can't go in the water. We're not top 10.
They're 11th. Cannon Beach.
Cannon Beach.
Cannon Beach is number 11. Okay. It says 80 miles west of Portland, Cannon Beach is all about nature. If you have a budding naturalist, bird watcher, or marine biologist, this is one of the best family beach destinations in the country. This Oregon town's 4-mile stretch of beach is known for its sea stack rock formations, the most famous of which is Haystack Rock, a nesting area for puffins.
Yes.
You may know that.
I do like a good puffin.
Many other birds make their home here, including bald eagles. The tide pools around Haystack and elsewhere along Cannon Beach are extraordinary, with colorful sea stars, crabs, snails, coral sponge, and sea slugs. It's more about viewing nature and wildlife, taking long walks on the beach and playing in the sand than actually jumping in the waves, as Suk says.
And that's the only thing I'll give you. Like you mentioned, we have the coast. We don't have good beaches. We don't, because you can't go in the water. And to me, that just makes it hard to put us anywhere near the top. Now, if you want to say coastal towns, yeah, sure. I'll give you that.
It says pack layers, a light raincoat, and a sense of adventure.
See, you shouldn't have to pack light layers and a raincoat to go to the beach.
Well, the number one beach destination in the United States, according to this list,
it's that little beach down in the Florida Panhandle with Georgia, right?
Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah, I've been
what
there,
it says.
and that is nice. But get ready to take out a second mortgage to even get there.
Outer Banks, North Carolina is number 2. I've never been there, but I've heard it's great. Maui is 3.
Yeah.
Followed by Sanibel Island, Florida. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. I think that's the one right there on it kind of bridges the gap between the two.
Then you have Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You have Grand Haven, Michigan.
There are some nice beaches up there along the Michigan and Wisconsin.
San Diego is 7.
Yeah.
Ogunquit, Maine. Ogunquit, Maine?
Don't know.
You ever heard of them?
Never been to Maine.
That's number 8. Gulfport, Mississippi, number 9. And number 10 is Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yeah. Great beaches. Been to a handful of those. The Gulf Coast has amazing beaches. Great, great down there, from the Alabamas to the Georgias to Florida.
I watched that show. What's it called? Beach beachfront renovations or something.
Yeah.
And they're always down in there.
It's an
in that
amazing
region.
place.
It's not very expensive.
It's not expensive at all. You can buy beach if you want beachfront property and you're not, the uber rich, you head down to the Redneck Riviera down there, and it's quite nice. But Cape Cod, I'm telling you, I've never been to a place that I felt more offended at the price of everything than Cape Cod.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't it just all rich people?
It's stupid. When you go to Vegas sometimes and you understand it's going to be expensive, but you just get so tired of it's not nickel and dimed, it's quartered and dollared everywhere you go. That's Cape Cod, to where it kind of wrecks the.
So it's like Lake O.
A little bit. I'm sitting
down.
Are
they trying to claim the waters over there?
Yeah. Well, you sit down at a bar, right? You're like, oh, it's a nice summer day. I'll have a cocktail. And you understand that it's not going to be an $8 cocktail, but like it's $32 and you're like, what? And then there's a 20% service charge on top so that the workers can live there. You're like, dude, I just paid $38 for like an old fashioned.
Hey, you don't like it? Go to Seaside.
Yeah. It's just, it was ridiculous.
Or just order a beer.
Well, then you're again, welcome to $20 beers.
It's not just a beer.
Everything.
It's a BWER beer. That's in the news, July 3rd, 2025. Coming up next, the Ducks just got a really big kid on the Fan.
Right back with you for Forest Hills Golf Course out.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on the Fan, some troubles in Cleveland. Guardians right-hander Luis Ortiz is under investigation by Major League Baseball after a betting integrity firm flagged a pair of pitches that received unusual gambling activity. The MLB has placed Ortiz on non-disciplinary paid leave. Mariners are going to be back in action later on tonight at 7:10 in T-Mobile Park. They're looking to get a series victory over the Royals with a win. They'd take 3 out of 4. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch at 7:10. You got a few games going on right now in the nation's capital. Nationals are up 7-3, come back after giving up 3 runs to the Tigers in the top of the first. It's the top of the 5th over there. 1 out so far. Blue Jays and Yankees are duking it out in Canada. Right now the Yankees are down 3-1. It's the bottom of the third, 0 outs. And in Atlanta, the Angels have opened up a 3-0 lead over the Braves. You're going to the bottom of the third right now. Braves about to get up to bat. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your favorite fan shows are
Juicy little Thursday. It's your Sports Bros, Rob and Sook. I'm Rob. And that's Big Sook right over there.
I just saw a terrifying look
Look
into
at him.
into my future, and I'm not happy about it. You wonder, like, at what point you're gonna turn old. Like, I'm getting there. And you, like, how do you become that weird old guy that doesn't understand anything? And then you get glimpses.
And by the way, it's not a moment in time. It's a gradual thing. And we just had yet another example that you're headed that direction. We all are.
Yeah. So we've got the MLB package here, and I was trying to watch the Mets and Brewers, and they were supposed to start at 4:10, but it was a rain delay. So I clicked on it, and it was like, oh, weather delay. And then I clicked off, and I was watching the Blue Jays Yankees. Well, I see on my computer that the Mets and the Brewers have restarted. So I go to click on the little feed there, and you can choose Mets and Brewers, which broadcast you want to watch. So I click on the Mets game, and it says this event is in a weather delay. And of course, I'm like, no, says right here the game's going on. Why is it in a weather delay? And so my big thing is, well, maybe the Brewer feed, maybe it's something wrong with the Mets feed. So I click on the Brewers feed. It says this event is in a weather delay, and now I'm completely flummoxed.
What?
I don't know what to do. I'm complaining, and Rob goes, and there's 3 options. There's one that you can check the box score. It says resume and watch live. And Rob goes, hey, dumbass, you have to click on watch live. I was clicking resume thinking it's resuming the game. No, resume was resuming from the last time that I watched it when it was in a weather delay.
That's right.
I couldn't figure out that I had to hit watch live. I would have spent 5 minutes going back and forth between those two, then gotten mad at the TV, complained about it, and then just given up. That's how it happens.
And then I said, you're going to make a great old man. Because that's your life when you're old.
Yeah. And there'd be no one else in the house. And then like the BTJ would come in and be like, what are you yelling about? And I'm like, don't worry about it, woman. The TV's broken. I pay all this money for the MLB package and I can't watch the game. Meanwhile, all I had to do was click the little button that said watch live.
I think there will come a time in your life where you'll actually call someone. You'll call like the customer service line. Yes, can I help you, sir?
It's not a weather delay.
You just click on watch live, sir?
Yeah, it made sense. The first one is resume. I wanted to resume the game.
Old.
Right?
I am dying.
No, not right.
No,
actually,
not
wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Wrong.
And that's when I realized that's how, and then you have to call your kids. Someday, my son will receive a call from me, and I will be angry that there is a game in a weather delay that is not in a weather delay. And he disgustedly will be like, Dad, just go click the button one down and you'll be fine. And then I'll do it and be like, well, thanks.
Well, if it helps, I do it all the time too. In a lot of different ways.
Oh, it's such a terrible feeling when you can't figure something out and someone solves it with, dude, just do this, and then follows it up with, hey,
Sucker.
Well, actually, you started off with, hey, dumbass. Just click the watch live button. And by the way, that dumbass was a absolutely that was the appropriate response.
Well, it was.
Because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, you deserve that.
Yeah, I deserve that.
You're welcome.
Well, the great joy is patting them on the head as the young son and saying, it's okay, I've got this.
you. Yeah.
Give me the remote. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, I bet you deal with that a lot, Will. I'm dealing with that with my olds. You know,
Yeah.
they're the cutest little things, but man, those phones.
It's the phones.
Just hand me your phone. Just give me your phone. I got you.
But, you know, it's like you got to teach them how to feed a man or give a man a fish. You feed him. Teach him how to fish. You know.
But I think there comes a time when
You
like
can't.
you just don't. The teaching it doesn't sink in. Like they won't remember it.
No.
That's where I'm at. So look, you're not going to remember this. So let me just do it.
Just
for
let me
you.
do it.
Yeah.
And you can call me the next time.
She's like, oh, I didn't know that. You can do that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I didn't know that. I'm like, I've only done it 20 times, but
Because my son's he's a computer science major, and I have issued this statement before. Damn it, what am I paying you to go to school for, computer boy? Fix this. And that's when I'm like, oh my gosh, it's usually involving the printer. Why isn't the printer, computer boy? What am I paying you for? Why am I paying for you to go to school? And then I'm like, it's starting. It's starting.
yeah. And like I said, it's a process.
Yeah.
Before you know it, 70 years old and
Well, to be fair, the printer works like once every
calling people whippersnappers.
3 weeks.
Yelling at the clouds. Yeah, the printer, I get you on
What?
printers. Printers are awful.
What?
They never work.
It's only now again. I'm going to go down the old man
And
road.
the ink thing.
Why does the printer never work? Why?
But, I mean, aren't printers kind of going the way of, like,
Hey,
checks?
Sometimes you need to print things.
I still have to write checks
Do you really?
For what?
to go put stuff into my bank. One of my banks doesn't communicate with another bank, and so I have to write checks. It's the only reason I know how to write a check.
Wow. Again,
Huh.
can't tell you last time I wrote a check.
I've written a check. I just wrote a check the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of a one-off. Sometimes you do have, he's right. Sometimes you do have to write checks. And like you said, sometimes you do have to print things.
Yeah.
It's just that it feels like both of those technologies, they're not technologies, both of those activities, things are going away.
Yeah. The printer industry is an effing racket. Dude, I work at Intel, F printers. It's a black hole of IT. See, they don't work.
I know they don't, but
Big printer it's all a scam.
if you don't have a printer in your house, you should be fine. Right? What are you printing?
You need to print things.
Like what?
Sometimes my kids even need to, like my daughter needs to print stuff for school.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you got to print stuff, man.
What do you have to print?
I don't know.
You
I just know sometimes
You don't have to print
I do
things.
have to print things.
What are you printing directions, old man?
Sometimes I got to get my MapQuest out. I print things from time to time. I print birthday cards. I do all handmade birthday cards.
You print them?
Anniversary? Yeah, I like the homemade. I like
Just
to do
send
my
a
own cards.
digital
That's
one.
not homemade. If you're like, are you?
If
What do
you're
you mean
printing
you
it-
print them?
I print my own cards. I make.
That's not homemade.
I make my own card.
Like on the computer?
Yeah.
Oh.
I get a little template on there, and then I get my photo, and I write my little
Oh
message.
my
on
God,
there.
you are 1,000 years
I don't
old.
know that that's homemade.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call that homemade either.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's digital, but it
Homemade is like you take the paper and you fold it and you draw on it in crayon and then you give it to your parents because you're 5.
you write something on it.
Well, when I write cards, no one can read them. So now I have taken to typing my cards because my handwriting is so poor. But yeah, I like to do my own little message, and then I put a photo, whoever is birthday or an anniversary on there, and then I fold the card, and I like to decorate it a little bit. Maybe I put some glitter on there. Homemade cards go a long way. I like a big homemade card.
Someone texts and says, if you work in any type of legitimate office building and still print off papers at home, you're a sucker. Now that I would technically agree with, except that printing off papers here is impossible.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
I think one guy can.
Well, you can. You just have to have a passcode, right?
And one guy has the passcode.
Are you serious?
There's one guy that I go to when I need to print stuff off.
Is that Odyssey's way of making it so that we don't use up their paper?
I think so.
Oh my
But
God.
again, who's printing off stuff here?
Well, like Suk said, every once in a while you do have to print something. That what this guy is saying is just print it at work because it's not a regular occurrence to the point where you need your own printer.
Well, I used to do that, but I can't anymore.
You can't.
But like if I have to read a script for like a commercial,
my God.
I want it printed out. I don't want to read it off my phone. I want it printed out
Well, Buck does it
in front of me. Yeah.
You have a producer.
Exactly. I don't print here, but I like to print at home.
Man,
I want a
that
printer.
was one segment, and we learned that you're probably older than me at this point.
I need a printer, and I can't figure out apparently how to watch the Mets play on television, and I needed you to fix it for me, and you called me a dumbass, and I wasn't offended because I was indeed a dumbass.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Shipping labels. I do that with Amazon, like the return stuff.
It's a code. It's on your phone.
No, you print one, and then you can attach it to the package and just drop it off.
Well, but you don't, like, for most of mine, I don't know what you're shipping back and forth, but for most of mine, it's just a barcode.
Well,
so you give them the package, and then they scan the barcode, and that's the drop-off.
Oh.
You don't have to repackage it.
Well, I repackage sometimes, and I print labels.
Once
and
again,
away it goes.
You're 60. We've already turned you into a 65-year-old. I didn't know you were that old. Thought you were younger than me. Just wait 10 years. Dude, you are going to be a hell of an old man. Oh, my God. I feel sorry for the BTJ. She should leave you now.
It's going to be tough. She's got no other options.
All right.
She's in too deep at this point.
This is the first time in history that this has occurred. This. How many times can I say this?
A lot.
First time.
And I'm not certain that I believe you. You say this a lot, and then it turns out it's not the first time.
First time in history this has happened. And we will get to that. Coming up. Oh, wait. Hold on. We'll get to that next. On the Fan. Yeah! America! We'll be right back.
The
Cruton news coming up here for you. But first, I mentioned this is a first in history. We have officially reached the tipping point, Jason. Jason Sakanik.
Yes.
Partner of mine.
Mm-hmm. Master of TV remotes.
Yeah, not so much.
Printing labels.
Writing checks.
Hey, I don't write checks. Kind of want to write one now, though.
According to Nielsen, streaming reached a historic milestone. This was back in May. As its share of total television usage outpaced the combined share of broadcast and cable for the first time ever.
Now,
So streaming
was it outpaced? So
has surpassed broadcast and cable.
So that's just like for one ratings period, or like outpaced is kind of a weird word.
Streaming, it says streaming represents 44.8% of TV viewership in May 2025.
Okay.
Largest share of viewing to date, while broadcast is only at 20.1% and cable is at 24.1%. Combined, that represents 44.2%.
Okay.
So it flipped
it
to where there's slightly more streamers than combined broadcast and cable viewers.
And I'm assuming that trend will only continue to grow.
I can't imagine that changes back the other way. Oh, how on earth would that go back the other way?
Couldn't tell you. I mean,
unless guys like you.
I thought I'd be the no. I'm cordless. I've been cordless
I know,
for
but
like
I
2
could
years.
see you going back. I can't figure. Resume or watch that. What? I'm calling DirecTV.
Yeah. That is true. I thought I'd be one of the last ones to hold on. I was not a cord cutter, but yeah, Comcast pissed me off, and then out of spite. And that is true. I left out of spite, and I have not been back. And it took a little bit of an adjustment, but yeah, I'm 100% streaming now.
So it says when comparing TV usage in May of 2021 and May of 2025, it's clear that streaming has been the dominant viewing format with a usage increase of 71% over 4 years.
Yeah.
And while broadcast and cable viewing have declined, down 21% and 39% respectively, traditional TV has shown a surprising resilience. It is not dead yet.
Yeah.
People are still watching.
Well,
and that's mainly the old.
Do any of your friends, because all your friends obviously in the 20s, or do any of your friends have regular TV?
Not to my knowledge. I might be over there more than.
Everyone's a streamer.
To my knowledge, everyone is a streamer unless like they're still at home with mom and dad or mooching off something.
Yeah. Because I mean, even I'm trying to think of any friends I know. God, no one in this house that I'm over on any kind of regular basis has corded TV or satellite TV. Man, I don't know. I'm sure people still have it. You mentioned about 20-something% for each, but it certainly seems to be a trend that is only going to continue to grow.
Among subscription services, Netflix has gone wire to wire as the leading streaming provider in total usage for 4 straight years. Their viewership has climbed 27% since May of 2021. And they have the biggest day in streaming history thanks to 2 exclusive NFL games, Christmas Day of 2024.
Yeah. And we know that we're getting more of those. I mean, more TV is going to, more sports are going to streaming platforms. We have exclusive games on Netflix, exclusive games on Peacock, exclusive games on Amazon every Thursday. Boy, that Pac-12 knew what they were doing all those years ago. Just about 10 years too soon. And a product that no one cares
Larry
about.
Scott was not dumb.
No.
He was just...
well, he was kind of dumb. He was...
I don't think he was. I think he was just...
he was ahead of his time, and he overvalued his product.
I think he was arrogant.
Yes. There you go. I like that.
He wasn't dumb. He was arrogant.
Yes.
Tennis boy. Wow! What else? Oh, free services have been a major driver of streaming's overall success. Because you would think that streaming is, well, all the subscriptions, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, Max, all that. No.
Yeah.
Most notably, YouTube Main, this is not YouTube TV.
Okay.
This is just YouTube, has exhibited steady, significant growth. It is up over 120% since 2021. And that makes sense because the youngs,
They just stream out.
they just watch YouTube.
They just watch YouTube.
Yeah, because it's all free.
Yeah, and all the platformers and they have the influencers have their little shows and all the everything from McAfee to all of those shows are available on YouTube if I'm not mistaken.
Watched a bunch of YouTube golf today. Gonna go home and watch more YouTube golf after we're done here.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What does that mean? Golf?
Oh, it just depends. So I'll
YouTube
find
golf.
there's different content creators. I like the Bob Does Sports guys. So they did a challenge where they had 9 holes. They had to shoot 5 under and they had to each eat a dozen donuts. And that made me laugh.
Okay.
And that's what I watched on the
So
treadmill
you're not
today.
talking about the John Deere Classic.
No.
No, I'm not locked in on what's going on with Grant Horvat or whoever's on the Corn Ferry.
So we have down in we have a separate space from the house.
Mhm.
So we have Apple TVs.
Sure.
On our TVs at the house.
Mhm.
And those are kind of expensive, but I love them. I think they're great. Down at the other place, we have Roku TVs, like smart TVs.
Mhm.
And I'm amazed at how much stuff is on there. Like Pluto. Do you know what Pluto TV is?
Sure.
I don't know what that is, but
Yeah.
it's on there. I've never clicked on it. But, you see all these, there's Tubi, there's fast services, there's all these.
Bunch of them.
There's so many now.
Yep.
80% of them I don't use. I don't even know what they are.
Nope.
And I don't even know if they're subscription or if I'm overpaying. If I'm probably double paying for everything. Seriously, because that stuff all comes on the TV now.
Yes.
But for Netflix, you still have to pay for Netflix and log in. But is that other stuff just all free? I don't know. Like the Roku channel, is that?
If you have Apple TV, all of that is, and you're watching it on there, because some of that stuff is just hardwired. Anytime you buy a smart TV, which is everything now, most of those are just
they're all on there.
They're all on there. But
I never use those. I use the traditional streaming ones where I have.
But you're not paying for it. It's just there.
Well, I am paying for it. I pay for Netflix. I pay for Max. I pay for YouTube TV. I pay for.
But you're not paying
Hulu.
for any of those other services. Those services.
Well, what I'm saying is, what is on those other services? If what is on those other services gives me what I need, why the hell am I paying for all the other stuff?
It's not. Most of that stuff is pretty kind of garbage. It's those people that don't want. There's nothing that you want to watch. There's no show. There's no sporting event that you want to watch that's going to be.
Well, why are they increasing in popularity?
Well, because it's a free option. It's like YouTube.
Like, what is Tubi?
Again, these are
They
all
have movies and TV shows on there.
Yeah, but it's not. If you want to watch Mobland, you're not going to get it on Tubi. If you want to watch the NFL, you're not going to get it on Tubi. My TV has 8 of those, and occasionally it defaults to it before I click over, and you get a whole list of programming on there. But I promise you, it's not a single program that you, Isaac Ropp, are going to want to watch. But for someone that doesn't want to pay for streaming services, you can scroll through there like a traditional TV and find something.
But none of it's good. My TV has 4 or 5 ESPN stations, but if you had Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, it's not going to pop up on my TV. You're going to get ESPN 8 The Ocho.
And Tubi has live TV that if you want it, you can pay for it. So they have a free, and then if you want, you can pay for live TV. But on Tubi right now, you can watch Everybody Hates Chris for free. Season
Everybody
4.
Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Season 4, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
but there's ads on it too that you have to watch.
Why don't we start our own streaming service that sucks? Why are there so many of them? How do they make money?
Ads and people that don't want to pay for stuff. Do you want We Got Time starring Deion Sanders has a sitcom called We've Got Time.
No way.
And it is a Tubi original starring Deion Sanders. Are
you serious? Scripted or a reality show?
No, it's scripted. Yes.
You're kidding.
No.
He also has a documentary on there too, I believe.
Yeah. These are I'm
So they're paying money. They're paying him to do that.
Yes.
There must be somebody watching it.
Well, there is I'm going through the list of things that are on free Tubi. You can watch the Flintstones.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. You can watch K-pop Extreme Survival. You can watch Wine, Dine, and Stein. Yeah, it's stuff like that. Dragon Ball Z. I'm telling you, it is nothing that you want. But for someone that doesn't want to pay for anything, you buy a TV and you can.
What's Pluto TV?
Pluto TV used to have the Big Sky Network. So whenever you wanted to watch hot Eastern Washington football action, you could go in and tune in there.
Do you have Crunchyroll? What's Crunchyroll?
That's all anime.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Ew.
Same sort of stuff. It's just it's all hodgepodge together to where it just gives you a million different options of what, and like movies that you would never watch.
What's Shudder?
Couldn't tell you that one. But my TV has all of those, and I'm allergic to them.
Do you have Mubi?
I don't have Mubi.
A lot of my friends have Crunchyroll, and I'm embarrassed about that.
Well, I mean,
I don't have it, but a lot of people my age do.
Screambox is another one. Broadway HD.
Yeah. There's a million ways to do it, man.
SCTV.
So much.
Ooh, SCTV. That was from like.
It's Canada.
Yeah, that was back in the old Kids in the Hall days.
Yeah, Kids in the Hall, and they have the old John Candy would be on there. Yeah, it's Canadian TV.
All right. Well, there's TV talk. So for the first time in history, streaming has outpaced cable and TV viewership.
I bet you there's a music channel that has this on there. And all those, by the way, do have free music channels. If you scroll down, every one of those services will have free streaming music channels.
That's tomorrow.
That's right.
All right, we've got recruiting news coming up next on The Fan. Here's Will.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, Washington Nationals slugger James Wood announced that he's going to be participating in the July 14th Home Run Derby. Wood is the third player to commit to participating in the Home Run Derby. He's joining Ronald Acuna Jr. and Cal Raleigh. Last year's winner, Teoscar Hernandez, has said that he does not plan on trying to go back-to-back in the Home Run Derby. Mariners finishing up their series with the Royals up in Seattle. Victory would give the Mariners the win in the series, 3 out of 4 from KC. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch at 7:10. Big day for Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh. Not only was he named the AL starting catcher in the All-Star game, his first All-Star game, but he was also named AL Player of the Month for the month of June. Big Dumper had 11 home runs, 27 RBIs, and he batted for an average of 300 in the month of June. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurting and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Hot Corner, now in its new
Pluto should be your jam.
Oh,
Apparently, there's a lot of free old crappy movies on there for you.
again, I got a streaming box, and that was the end of it. So I don't. What? It's all you need. Look it up. Buy yourself a streaming box, and you don't have to worry about any of that crap.
Just risk going to jail.
I bought it on the internet.
Well,
How is
I'm
it
sure you did.
How is it illegal?
It's illegal.
Is it?
Yep. They're going to come arrest you. They're going to come. Not only are they going to come arrest you, they're going to take your guns from you.
my cold, dead hand.
Yeah, America! Put a boot in your
Woo!
head.
Not
So,
on the 4th of July. Although, did you see, speaking of arrest, did you see Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. just fought Jake Paul, and it was an embarrassment, and they arrested him the next day. ICE came and arrested him, and they're deporting him. He fought Jake Paul, and then like 2 days later, he's getting booted from the country.
That's the definition of what Toby Keith was talking about.
They did put a boot in his ass both times.
So the Ducks got a kid today, and
They got 2 of them.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you know me, I'm not a huge
No.
Cruton guy.
Yeah.
But I was driving in today listening to my favorite midday show called Danny. And
with a fill-in host named Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty was on there, but he wasn't talking much.
Dusty, well, he's checked out. Come on, we know that.
So they said that this kid is 6'7", 350?
Yes.
As a senior in high school?
He is large and in charge.
God.
Yes. Yes, that's a large human being. You want to try to pronounce his name?
Well, Will was trying to help me with that, and I think it's Emmanuel Iheanacho.
Yeah, I like that.
Iheanacho?
Iheanacho?
Yeah, I think there's a he in there. Like in whiskey.
Say what way?
He was on the Pat McAfee show today.
Yeah, he is enormous.
He is huge, and he
Yes.
announced that he's going to Oregon. He's like the top offensive line recruit in the country.
Yeah.
And
I saw a little clip of him squatting, and he looks like Trent Williams, but as a high school player. The fact that kid is playing against some defensive end that weighs like 205 pounds.
It's crazy.
Poor bad. And he's not fat either.
He's just huge.
He's just huge.
So
even Penei Sewell, when he was coming out, had a little bit of that high school fat body. Dude, this kid is just an effing house. It's terrifying.
So he chose Oregon over Penn State, Auburn, and LSU.
Yeah. He can go anywhere he wanted.
The number 4 recruit in the nation and the number 2 offensive tackle.
Yeah. So Oregon, everyone was freaking out because Oregon's recruiting was a little soft. They were like 28th in the country, and then like 10 days later, they're in the top 10. They land this kid, and then they landed a 4-star safety named Devin Jackson. And I was confused because while the lineman announced it on Pat McAfee, old Devin Jackson just did a social media post. And for some reason, and I was asking people why, and no one can seem to tell me why, but he's out in front of Autzen Stadium, and there's like an SUV behind him, and he's in full outfit, and then there's a lady, it appears, in a hazmat suit with a bunch of buckets of toxic waste, and then he opens one of the buckets of toxic waste, and then his uniform changes color, and now he's an Oregon Duck.
What's his name?
Devin Jackson. Will, you're a youngin'. Can you explain to me why there's toxic, and by the way, it does say toxic waste on it. Why is he looking into a barrel of toxic waste in front of Oregon?
Because that's where all the other teams that tried to recruit him but couldn't land him are, man. They're all toxic waste, not like Oregon.
But why would the
good interpretation?
Why would they be Oregon Duck toxic waste?
You are artsy.
No. The Ducks are not toxic waste. The opponents of the Ducks
but
are
the toxic waste logo, the toxic waste buckets have Oregon logos on them.
Well, that's just so that people know that the Ducks are not toxic waste.
I like where Will's going here.
And then his uniform changes when he looks into. He's wearing green and yellow, and then when he looks into the toxic waste, it's black. Is there symbolic meaning? I'm confused a lot by
I think he's
You're
right.
thinking about this too much.
That's the other schools. They're toxic. Not Oregon though.
I am fascinated by the photo shoots. I love that now when we go on recruiting trips, we play dress up. and then we do like, we play fun little cute games. And I just, everyone's going to make fun of Dan Lanning for jumping into a pool. But can I make the argument that jumping into a pool makes more sense than doing a made up photo? Someone went and got like tubs and then put customized toxic waste logos on them and then got a hazmat suit and wore it so this kid could have a fun, like a glamour shot thing in front of the stadium.
Do you think that was even a bridge too far for Dan Lanning, where he asked him to be in his toxic waste video and Lanning was like, yeah, no, I'm out, dude. I've already gotten burnt by the pool video.
He's glowing green.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
Again, it's because you're 65 years old.
Which
okay?
is why
leave it to the kids.
Well, I asked, Nemec posted this, and Nemec it talks to all these kids, and that's why I asked. I said, "Look,
Will answered.
He did. Well, no.
Yes, I
he
did. Me speaking to you was
He's right.
answering. You just didn't like the answer.
You just don't believe it.
That answer makes no sense.
I kind of does to me.
What?
You're not thinking rationally here.
I want to get this kid on the program just so I can ask him, hey, congratulations on choosing Oregon over Florida and Nebraska. Why the toxic waste? Someone explain it to me. I'm desperately trying to find a real answer, and no one can tell me. Even hardcore Duck fan is like, I don't know, man.
Well, once again, you just got one from Will. I don't know why you won't accept it.
You don't appreciate
because
fine
that's
art.
a terrible answer.
I don't think it is. I think he's right. I think that's the right interpretation.
Okay.
I mean, you asked the kid. He's in the mind of the kids. That's how they think.
And I also want to know what Oregon staffer had to be the one to dress up into the Oregon hazmat outfit. And why the SUV? Why is there a random SUV in front of the toxic waste?
You are thinking way too hard about this. He made this photo shoot happen, and he didn't think about it. Also, there's like 3 O's on the hazmat, like trash can thing.
Yeah. So what is
branding, bro?
I would love to be in the mind of a 4-star safety that's like, hey, I want to come to your school, but first I got an idea. Photo shoot, Autzen Stadium. Get me on this one. Toxic waste. And I just want to know if Oregon had any pushback if they were like, all right.
Maybe it's like we'll
get you some toxic waste.
It's got to be a message to, like Will was saying, it's like to part of the process was toxic to him.
That's what
yeah.
A lot of people saying Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
Well,
but not Oregon.
Apparently not. Well, he's a big deal. He's a 4-star safety, and they got him along with that giant offensive lineman who's terrifying.
Devin Jackson.
Is
that what he said?
Devin Jackson. 4-star safety. And I'm not going to try to pronounce the
So you mentioned they're 10th now? Or they jumped up to...
Yeah, I think they jumped up to 10th.
There's an article on CBS Sports, and it's College Football Recruiting Panic Index.
Yeah.
And Oregon is in the top 5. Panic Index.
Yeah, people weren't happy.
In other words, they were... Because I'll read what it says about them. It says... you have to scroll down the list a bit to find Oregon's 2026 class, which currently sits just outside the top 30. While that's weird to see for a program that has dominated the trail under young coach Dan Lanning, there's no real cause for concern. The Ducks only have 10 commits thus far, but the quality of those commits is so high that Oregon already ranks ahead of several programs that are approaching or have exceeded 20 prospects in their class.
Yeah, and they just landed that's their third 5-star kid, and they landed another 4-star safety. They're going to be fine.
So the Panic Index has, if you must know, Auburn, Panic Index 4. Their ranking right now for 2026 is 79th.
Not great.
It has Colorado, whose Panic Index is a 1, meaning the most panic. They are ranked 105th in recruiting.
Yeah, they're because Deion doesn't believe in recruiting. He's all about the transfer portal.
Oklahoma is on the list. Panic Index of 3, ranking of 36. Oregon, they rank 31. Panic Index 1. Okay, so Panic Index, they're saying don't panic. So they're actually saying don't panic that much about Colorado as well. And then Oregon, and then the last one is Tennessee. Panic Index 2, their ranking is 22nd.
Yeah, that may be one of those everyone just take a deep breath, long way to go.
That is a classic July article.
Yes. What else do we do? Time to panic.
Yeah, let's I mean, you got to create content.
Yeah.
You got to churn out content Let's go panic index on a recruiting class that isn't going to play for over a year.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And none of these recruits, by the way, that are committing, none of that is
right.
I mean,
they're all going to commit to 5 other places before.
Toxic waste guy can go look into another team's barrel like next month, and you're like, well, hell. Apparently, our toxic
Yeah, but
waste.
you know what he's going to find? It's going to be toxic.
It's going to be toxic,
and he's going to go right back to the Ducks.
Just like more.
Woo!
Let's go.
That was the dumb one that was today. The one of the Fox dip ass talking heads said that the Kansas City Chiefs have officially entered a Super Bowl drought.
Well, how is that?
I don't know. They've been to 3 straight Super Bowls. They've won 2 of them.
Well, they haven't even played since.
They're in the middle of a Super Bowl drought. They've officially entered Super Bowl drought.
They've lost 1 game.
To tell you, that's the July.
That is July.
That's July.
July.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Coming up next is going to be a great sports segment that you didn't know you needed.
Just gotta listen to more of this.
Hell yeah. Here's the chorus. We are right back on 1080 The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Well, we just did a whole damn segment on it.
Yes.
But I guess I don't know. The Ducks got a couple of an offensive. Look, I don't care about recruiting, but that guy being 6'7", 350, and being 18 years old
and moves really
dude,
well.
That's insane. That's obscene.
And let's not forget about the 4-star safety that apparently loves toxic waste.
Maybe he's toxic. Maybe that's what he's saying.
He's that good.
He's toxic.
Like the Ninja Turtles, Secret of the Ooze. Either way, Oregon went from being like the 28th ranked class to the 10th ranked class in one day. So everyone can calm down.
Yeah, Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
Thanks to our fan listeners.
All right. We're headed toward the club where we're going to talk about America.
We are careening towards the club, aren't we?
And fireworks. And flags.
B-E-E-R beer.
And being fat.
That is a little bit about the 4th of July, right? Is that the unhealthiest of the holidays?
Ooh.
God,
I don't know.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, I think it's Christmas because I feel like
the cookies.
It's a longer period.
Yeah.
And it's just like eating and drinking constantly.
I don't know if you took your the meal. You took Christmas meal, or if you want to go Christmas Eve, because a lot of people eat a bigger Christmas Eve meal, Thanksgiving or all day 4th of July. Which is the unhealthiest? Like if you go pure calories, liquor content, fat.
Boy, I'm gonna go Thanksgiving.
You want Thanksgiving?
Well, there's a lot of booze, and in a short period of time,
and a lot of starches.
Yeah, a lot of salt.
You got potatoes. You got the stuffing.
Potatoes.
I would say 4th of July, it's my meat index is probably off the chart, but I don't know how much crap I eat other than meat.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of ribs and
some... don't we eat better in the summer?
Well, I think it's
disagree.
Hard disagree.
I eat way worse in the summer.
Why?
And drink way more. There's more things to do. I'm not going to drink and sit at home. That's lame.
Oh,
I think when there's less to do, you eat more.
It's cold. It's hibernated. You're covered up.
I go to bed.
Yeah.
I'll just go to
you
sleep.
might as well eat.
Summertime, it's kind of hot. It's sweaty.
Yeah.
You know, you're
active.
I'm with you. I think it's a little harder for me to overeat in the middle of a July day than it is a cold winter's night. Like, you wake up on Thanksgiving, what the hell else are you doing, right?
Yeah, just drinking.
Yeah. Although 4th of July, that kind of
I'm trained.
That happens too. I mean,
oh yeah, I'll be cracking something bright and early, but I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what I'm going to eat tomorrow, though.
No?
Glizzies?
Maybe. I mean, that's
the only time you should eat a hot dog or a baseball game.
I don't know.
I don't think we have any hot dogs. I got a buddy making ribs, cornbread, coleslaw, and then some sort of boozed up cobbler. And I think we're bringing. I think we're doing like some sort of slider thing.
Boozed up cobbler. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, he's making some sort of. Well, it's not him. His wife makes the unhealthiest food, but oh my God, it's amazing.
Is it like a bourbon cobbler?
Yeah, it's like a bourbon cobbler.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and apparently she doesn't cook the alcohol out of it, which is the only way to do it.
I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it? It was a sangria berry cobbler.
Oh, sangria. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not as cool as bourbon, but I'm okay with it.
She does make she makes like a pecan pie with whiskey caramel sauce. And then we get her drunk, and then we see if what we can bully her into making. She's one of those ladies that's very proud of her food because it's all amazing. And we get her housed, and then we start poking. All you have to do is like say the last time we were over at their house, she was smashed, and one of our buddies we started talking about scones, and we were like, Michael makes a handsome scone, and she's like, oh really? He makes a good. Next thing you know, we're getting scones.
She's making scones.
She's making spite scones because we had the nerve.
Were they good?
Oh, they were delightful. It was like a lemon poppy scone, and she just decided to just go in there. So it's kind of fun when you're over there to get her drunk and see what you can bully her into making. It's we'll see what happens. So maybe we will get a boozy whiskey sort of pie, because I could do one of these. Oh yeah, this cobbler is so good. But that last time you made that whiskey sauce, I thought it was a little off.
Now, what are you drinking for fireworks?
By that point in the evening, it's just straight brown.
Your bourbon?
Yeah, we're bourbon. The day will start. That will be a beer sort of day in the middle. But once we get into the evening time and the meal has been had, now we're talking 6:37. That will be a switch to straight brown, and at that point there will be no deviation. Because once you switch once you switch to whiskey,
well, you don't.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
you either have more or you're going to bed.
Yes. You've been drinking beer, you switch to whiskey, and you don't go unless the final, and then maybe I'll throw a White Russian in, but that's a dessert. That's an end of the evening.
Ugh. Right on cue, Will. right. Well, we got one more hour.
Woo! I'm gonna start drinking.
You can start drinking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the fridge.
Gonna slap the bag of rosé.
Now Rob's taking that to the coast.
I think I'm gonna take it out there and see what they say.
You gonna slap the bag? Start asking people to slap it?
Okay, guys, I brought this.
See, we're going out tonight, and we're gonna start our drinking tonight after the show, and then that'll lead into the 4th of July.
No, I'm not gonna slap the bag, Will.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Ew.
And it is 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock here.
It's 6 o'clock.
Well, it's 5:55.
What percentage of Americans are too stressed about money to do it?
This is just code for you don't want to do it with your partner.
That's next on The Fan.
Empower. Jen.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, the Mariners are back in action, not getting the day off. They're trying to wrap up their series with Kansas City with a victory on tonight. And in the series, they'd win 3 out of 4 from KC. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch scheduled for 7:10. Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh was named the AL Player of the Month for the month of June. Big Dumper had 11 home runs and 27 RBIs in the month of June. Cal Raleigh's already announced that he and Ronald Acuna will be in the MLB Home Run Derby announced today. There's a third participant as well, James Wood. of the Washington Nationals said that he will be participating on July 14th in the Home Run Derby. Doesn't sound like last year's winner, Teoscar Hernandez, will compete. Sounds like he's not going to try and go back-to-back in that one. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. So don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan Merch Locker has a new black 1080 The Fan hoodie, as well as classic long and short sleeve tees. Get yours now at 1080thefan.com. The following show may contain adult themes not suitable for children.
Shut the hell up.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Suk.
It does go well with a chicken.
I didn't know hanging out with you was making me smarter. Full disclosure, Morty, it's not. Temporary superintelligence is just a side effect of the mega seeds dissolving in your rectal cavity. Oh, man. Yeah, and once those seeds wear off, you're going to lose most of your motor skills, and you're also going to lose a significant amount of brain functionality for 72 hours, Morty. Starting right about now.
Club 1080 with Isaac and Suk is brought to you by Pub Beer, the official beer of cheap fun.
Your vaginas didn't power the penis rocket to space. America, yeah! That's America, yeah! Uneducated beer! Just balls!
You can issue your press statements, but I'm actually looking for ideas to move us forward. Here now. That was now. Here now. Here now. You want to go inside what it's like to sit in this role? Here now. We've given I'm actually looking for ideas to move us forward. Now. Boy.
All right.
Gets me every time.
This is America. We're about winning championships.
I have officially started my 4th of July, although, so I am drinking pub beer because, well,
yeah,
the club. But this is a pub cerveza, which doesn't feel very 4th of July.
Why not?
Well, because it's Mexican.
Oh.
Cerveza.
Hence the cerveza.
Hence the cerveza. So, but it was the only pub beer that we had back there.
Do you, if you drink beer on the 4th of July, which a lot of people do, does it have to be a domestic beer? Like if you're throwing out Pacificos and...
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but, you know my 4th of July beer consumption will be some...
But you'll go out of your way to make it domestic on this day?
No.
Out of respect for our great land?
No, I just tend to drink domestic beer.
Might be an age thing. I think it's weird if you are gatekeeping like whatever beer you drink.
Whatever anybody's drinking.
Yeah.
Right. That is weird. Yeah. You're right about that.
We do that a lot, though. We gatekeep, like if you drink a Bud Light Lime, you're going to get a lot of weird stares. I get it like when I go to if I go to brew pubs and I order a Hamm's or a Rainier or a Coors, people get very bitchy about it. And look, there's plenty of delightful, whatever, blueberry, this, that. But sometimes I just like to drink an easy drinking dad beer. But like beer guy will get all pissy with you if you order a Hamm's or a Rainier.
Who cares? I'm with Will. It's like, drink what you drink, man. Drink what you like. I don't care.
Well, that's like when I drink wine. I'm a rosé guy. I love a good rosé all day. And that gets a lot of the, ooh, man card.
Segment's not over.
No. Now you've conditioned
I just had to remind you of...
For a brief moment, I was like, wait, are we that late? Are we in break right now?
BWER beer, man.
Yeah.
You could take your rosé and shove it up your commie ass.
I do like this pub cerveza, though. It is delightful. So kudos, 10 Barrel.
They have a lot of really good drinks. We used to buy those because they have like an ice version. Icing people on their birthday.
Yeah.
We'll buy the pub version of it. It's a little bit better. We think.
I got iced once. We were doing a...
Greg Glover got you.
Yeah, we were doing a show out there, and I got you. Actually, they tried to ice you, and you refused.
Yeah.
Rop is uniceable.
You can't refuse.
Watch Rop refuse. If there's a man in this country that will refuse to be iced, it's that man right there.
Boy!
And we were on TV, so I was like, give me that. It's like, yeah, ice it. There's they created a super ice. I want to say it's like 12 of them.
The tall boy?
No, it's like they created. It's the most ridiculous thing. You can look it up, and they've done it to this guy like on Christmas, around Christmas time. His friends keep doing it, and he gets so pissed, but he keeps trying to do it, but he just gets hammered because it's like the equivalent of drinking 12 Smirnoff Ices. So that's like it's a running gag of the getting iced. And each year he gets more and more angry, and then I think he refuses to do it until they bully him. They bully him eventually, and he breaks down and tries to do it. And then he gets about halfway through it and then gets angry and starts throwing things at them. I've never iced anyone, and I think that's the only time I've been iced is on our program.
You know, with all this deportation stuff going on, what if ICE just starts coming around
with
and just yanking people out of the country for drinking like Modelo?
Well, I'm a little terrified now. I'm drinking this pub cerveza. I don't have any papers on me. I don't have any ID. Next thing I know, ICE is kicking down our front door.
Like if I see freaking Kid Rock, I'm gonna be a little worried. He's in fatigues. He's got some battle rangers with him.
I will say,
checking what I'm drinking.
I will say I find it disconcerting that they never identify themselves. They're all in unmarked vehicles, and they got like they're it's like they're going to war. They got masks on to arrest some dude who's like, pouring concrete at the Home Depot. Seems to be a bit much, but hey, what do I know?
What do you know?
I don't know anything other than this pub cerveza. It may be un-American, but it's delicious. So thank you.
But if it's made by an American company, doesn't that make it American?
Yeah, America, woo!
But what about, is Anheuser-Busch, I mean, they sold, right? Like, it's not even
I don't think it's
an American.
I don't think it's an American company.
Right.
I think they're based out of here, but I don't think it's an American company anymore. That's
So what happens if I drink?
Is that InBev that owns all those guys?
Can I drink Bud Light now, or
I think Bud Light's back.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Why?
Bud Light's having a moment. They got Shane Gillis.
They got Shane Gillis. They
And
got the
Posty.
UFC. They got Peyton Manning. They got
Posty.
Post Malone.
So it's no longer
It's no longer Bud Gay.
soy boy beer.
No, it was Bud Gay for a while, but now it's back.
How did they do that? Just getting Shane Gillis to?
Well,
Shane's the man.
they signed a deal with the UFC. Then they got Shane Gillis, and then they got that Post Malone Peyton Manning commercial.
Wow.
Or was it? No, it wasn't Post Malone. I think Post Malone was always on board. It was the Shane Gillis Peyton Manning commercial. Yeah, my buddy's dad, who's like Rush Limbaugh, right? He was he's great. All he drinks is Bud Light Lime. Like if you go over to his place, he's got one of these beautiful houses, and if you open up his beer fridge, all it is Bud Light Lime.
That's like Masters Pete.
Is he what?
Well, he drinks. God, what is he? It's the same crap every time. I'm like, Jesus, man.
Bud Light Lime. Yeah, mix it
and
up.
He's got plenty of money, and it's like this is all he drinks.
Yeah. So we were down in Bend a couple weeks ago, and his dad was visiting, so I got to chat with him, and he's a great guy to talk to. And I had to ask him, I was like, hey man, are we because he bought a place, he moved down to Georgia, bought a big old lakefront house on Georgia with a boat dock, everything, and he's
on Georgia.
Yeah, down in Georgia, like an hour outside of Atlanta. And so he's like, you got to come down, got to come visit us.
Lake Oconee? Because that place is great.
It might be. I mean, it's an amazing looking place, dude. It looks incredible. And he's like, you got to come down. He's like, well, come down, visit us. We love to have people. We bought the house to entertain. And I had to ask. I was like, so Jeff, Bud Light back? And he's like, oh yeah, Bud Light Lime, it's back.
So he couldn't drink it for a while because of all the
yeah. For a bit.
Well, I just find that odd.
But now it's back.
Why is it back?
It's just back.
Shane Gillis rocks.
If you love Shane Gillis, by the way, is Jesus to Will's generation. If you have a true love of a beer, especially one like Bud Light Lime, you'll come back. Yes, Bud Light may have cheated on you and you're angry, but she'll apologize. She'll tell you she'll never do it again, and eventually you'll take her back.
So
you can't quit Bud Light Lime.
So does Kid Rock drink Bud Light?
Yeah,
now?
he's back, man.
Really?
Yeah. He's back drinking Bud Light.
Did he really stop?
No, he didn't. He got caught drinking a Bud Light like 3 weeks after that.
He shot a couple up, and he was still drinking it. He was just being closeted about his Bud Light likage.
You can't quit your true love. You just can't. Once you find your beer, chances are that's your beer.
Bud Light sucks. Like, why do people like Bud Light?
That's the number one beer in America.
Yeah, well, it sucks.
Hey, Jay Leno was the number one late night show for years.
Also
Big Bang Theory was the number one TV show.
Yeah.
NCIS is still making new episodes.
And by the way, yeah, InBev is it's Belgian and Brazilian, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
They own 10 Barrel too.
yeah, they own everything. InBev's like the biggest one in the world. But yeah, remember, everyone was trying to launch like their own independent like American beers. Troy Aikman did it. Some dude, like everyone was launching like this, and then it turned out it was all made by InBev anyway.
It's all made by exactly.
They're like,
Same company.
This is American made, but it was brewed at a brewery owned by InBev. And they're like, God damn it. And then eventually I think we got tired and we're like, look, I'm going back to drinking Bud Light.
Does anybody drink Bud Heavy anymore? Or is that just not a thing?
I don't think it's much of a thing. Well, because I'm a Coors heavy guy, right? I don't like Coors Light. If I'm drinking light beer, it's Rainier or it's pub beer or it's Hamm's. So I do not like Coors Light. It's one of my least favorite light beers. But my favorite beer is Coors Banquet. And I will tell you, the amount of bars that carry Coors Banquet, throw a dart, man. It is so, everyone carries, and it's the same thing with Bud Light. Everyone has Bud Light, everyone has Coors Light. But if you order a Yellow Jacket or you try to order Bud Heavy, Miller Genuine Draft, same thing. Most people have Miller Lite or High Life.
Nobody has MGDs?
No. But Coors Light is probably the number one with Gen Z if you're going beer. Around here, you're also going to get some Rainier. I will drink Bud Heavy just so I can take a picture of me drinking Bud Heavy and send it to my boys and be like, look, I'm drinking Bud Heavy. Ha, ha, ha. So that's...
Why is that funny?
I don't know, man. You got to be there. Inside joke. Love to be a part of one day.
Oh, my God.
I've been to places that have the Coors, because the Coors Banquet logo is cool. It's got the lion, or they'll have the river on it. And I'll see the neon sign, and I'll be like, hell yeah. And I'm like, can I get a Coors Banquet? And they will bring me a Coors Light, and it'll be like a young, waitress or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's...
Education time,
Well,
bitch.
and they just look at you, and they're like, listen here, old man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, do you have it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, but you have the neon sign. Or they'll do one of these. There's a difference. And I've always been like, if I ordered a Coke, and you brought me a Diet Coke, that's not the same thing. But to a lot of if you go to a place that's got like young bartenders or young servers, and you order a Coors, they will bring you a Coors Light and then act like you have two heads. If you're like, well, no, that's
morons.
Not what I ordered. I ordered a Coors.
If I order a Coors and they don't come back with a Coors Light, I'll be a little upset.
So see, Will's the opposite.
Really?
Hey, you guys got Coors?
Yeah, see, I'm with Sook. A Coors is not a Coors Light.
No.
Coors Light is probably the number one dad beer for Gen Z.
I know, but
all
that's
my
not
buddies and I drink it.
But that's not a Coors.
I understand that we're wrong. I know. I can see the look of disgust in your eyes, and I get it. I am wrong. However, that's how it is. So deal with it.
I like that quote. Yeah. I know that I am wrong. However, that's how it is, so deal with it.
Yeah.
Said dads everywhere.
And I honestly don't know I don't think I've ever seen someone that has Coors on tap.
Oh yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It's just not a big
never
thing. But Bud Heavy, I don't see Bud Heavy
on tap either.
Ever.
No.
Anywhere.
No.
And it used to be like
growing up.
I think when we were growing up,
Budweiser was everywhere.
Budweiser was the drink.
Yep.
And then Bud Light started to become popular because we realized, well, I don't know what we realized. We realized we like other crappy beer.
I guess.
And then now it's just obsolete, it seems like.
Yeah.
Is it like Marlboro Reds?
Oh, those are back.
Are they? The Reds?
Those are back in a big way.
Yeah? A lot of kids smoking in your circles?
Look, man, I'm not a nicotine guy unless it's a cigar, but people smoke cigs when they've had a few. There's about midnight is when the cigs get bought.
The ciggies.
Oh,
I
by the
remember
way,
those days.
I had to look it up. Beer Advocate, it's back because Bud Light fell off and Modelo replaced it. As the number one beer in the U.S.
Wow, really? Modelo was the number one beer in the U.S.?
Yeah. When Bud Light fell, Modelo took its place. And this is from April 4th, 2025. Number one beer back in America, Bud Light. Is back, baby. Took a brief dive.
All right.
And now it's back.
Invest in Modelo. Gen Z, it's Coors Light or Modelo.
Modelo is a nice beer.
Buy
Nice
that
little
stock
beer.
if you
Easy
can.
drinking beer.
Easy drinking beer.
Yeah. All right.
B-double-E-R beer.
Beer talk. Okay. There is a new study. What percentage of Americans say they're too stressed about money to do it? Next on The Fan.
The Fan is live on YouTube.
My deal just texted in, and he told me something I didn't know.
What do you got?
10 barrel. InBev sold 10 barrel.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. 2 years ago, they sold. So 10 barrel and Widmer Brothers were sold by InBev as part of an 8-brand acquisition by Tilray Brands.
Okay.
And they are out of New York, and they own a lot of cannabis stuff.
Well, there you go. Go Tilray.
So I didn't know InBev sold 10 barrel.
The only thing I drink from 10 Barrel is the pub beer. What else they got? They got the Deschutes. Right, that's a 10 barrel. The Deschutes IPA. I've had that a time or two. Or is that a yeah?
I thought Deschutes was its own brewery. Deschutes Brewery.
Yeah, they have a bunch of different things, I think.
But 10 barrel had a Deschutes. What was it called?
Well, Deschutes is its own brewery.
I know, but they had a beer called. There was a Deschutes. Yeah, I forget. Like it's really the only beer I really know from 10 Barrel is pub beer. That's about all. And
pub beer is great.
Pub beer is great. Pub beer is fantastic.
Happens to be the sponsor of the club.
There you go. I also like when I went to look up. I went to go to 10barrel.com, and I do enjoy when they tell me that I have to like check my age.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you just click on it.
Yeah. What are we doing? Like,
I know that's so weird.
As if I'm 17, I'm gonna be like, well, I can't.
No,
look at this
I guess
way.
I can't. So if you're 17 and you click on that, I guess is that just a liability thing?
That's the only thing I could
So
think.
yeah. You said you were 21. You can't sue us.
I was trying to think. Oh yes, I've had their crushes. Those are their sours at 10 Barrel.
Oh, we're talking 10 Barrel here.
Yeah, 10 Barrel has the crushes, and then a bunch of they have like Monkey Cat, Juicy Drama.
I like Monkey Cat as a name.
I know it's a good band name. What are you going to do this weekend? I'm going to go see Monkey Cat.
Okay, so listen, we got a new survey here.
Okay. We love our surveys.
You know, a lot of Americans are stressed about money right now.
Yes. I think a lot of Americans are just stressed in general.
Yeah.
We like
That's
to be
right.
stressed.
We're a stressful bunch.
Yeah.
Well, what percentage of Americans do you think say in this survey they are too stressed about money to do it?
Way too many, and I'm going to tell you right now that whatever that number is, it's all a front from you just not wanting to have sex with your partner or you're not able to get laid. Because I can't think of any time in my life, or really anyone that would be like, you know what, I am so stressed right now. You know what I don't or can't handle? Sex with this hot girl. Who has ever said that? Who's ever been like, oh my God, this absolute dime at this bar just wants to ravage me. And you know what? I can't do it because I'm just not in the right mood, a little stressed out right now over the economy. That's never happened. That is lonely housewives and men that don't want to touch each other that are like, nope, too stressed, not tonight, honey.
Well, the answer, Jace, is 26%. 1 in 4 Americans say they're too stressed about money to have sex.
Of that percent, did you say 26, right?
26.
Yeah, 23.5 are lying. I'll give you 2.5% that this may be a legitimate thing. Maybe it's a performance issue, but stop it.
53% of Americans say the lack of affordable date nights is hurting their sex life.
That I can see.
1 in 2 renters
I don't know about you. I like to be romanced. I'm not just a piece of meat. You have to take me out and treat me well in order to get me in the mood.
Just buy me a dinner.
TV dinner, hungry man? Some Salisbury steak and some Coors Lights?
1 in 2 renters has delayed breaking up because they literally can't afford to move out.
That I 100% believe. I know people that lived together and didn't get divorced because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, 2025, they're saying couples are staying together for the Wi-Fi and the shared Netflix accounts.
Yes, 100%. I know people that, this is my working, I've long said this, that if you could sprinkle some magic dust and nothing about your life changed, not your relationship with your kids, the Mets are back. The relationship with your kids doesn't change. You don't have to move. Nothing about your finances changes. Like your lifestyle all stays the same. But you could just magic erase your spouse out and you're just single. It's just gone. Like, whoa, gone. The amount of people that would be using the magic eraser, male and female, through the roof.
Why do you think that?
Absolutely the roof. Because I don't think many married people are happy. But you stay together because you don't want to piss off the kids. Finances, going through divorce is expensive. Divorce attorneys suck. It's an absolute nightmare. Everyone that goes through a divorce absolutely hates it. You got to sell your house and move into a crappy apartment. Then you have to pay the person that you hate. You have to pay them money to not be married to them anymore. And you're like, oh my God, I've been out of the game for so long. I don't even know how to go about getting laid. And so you're like, whatever, I'll just stay married, which is why I said, if you could just, and then a lot of times women, if they're not the breadwinner, they're scared because it's like, what do I do? Can I support myself? This and that. So you just stay together. It's a convenience thing. That's why I said nothing changes, but you can use the magic. And by the way, that person doesn't die, right? They just go away, right? And nothing about your life changes. Dude, people are picking up that eraser and you're getting blotted out left and right. So that part I believe when they say that people are staying together because of finances. It's scary out there on your own.
They say the data doesn't lie. Broke people are having less sex and enjoying it even less when they do it.
See, that's sad because if you're broke, what else do you have to look forward to other than getting cheaply laid?
It says financially satisfied folks are twice as likely to have good sex lives, 2.6 times more likely to have frequent sex, and 6 times more likely to feel secure in their relationship. Meanwhile, almost a quarter of young adults say they're avoiding dating entirely due to financial uncertainty.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Again, I can see that. It costs money to get laid. It's hard to go out on a date if you don't have any cash.
Well, that's great because then if I'm not like getting laid,
yeah,
like if I were single,
yeah,
I just blame the economy. Like, thanks, Biden. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Obama. Can't afford to go out and get laid. Well, to be fair, bars are, a night out at a bar can be a spendy. They do say that.
Well, everything's spendy these days.
Well, they do say that the cheapest girl is the one that you pay for.
What?
Who is they?
Yeah. What?
All right. Follow me on this.
I'm following along.
Explain to me like I'm 4.
Okay.
Can you print out some paper and draw it for me?
You go meet a girl, whatever. Take her out to dinner. What's dinner run you?
Dinner?
$100?
You're
Nowadays?
you're not doing dinner first. You're doing drinks or coffee.
Okay, let's do drinks. What are we in for drinks? $30-$40?
Yeah, depending.
Okay, so $30-$40.
Hey, do you have? Hold on, before you keep going. Do you have to curtail your drinking on a first date because you want to show them that like you're not a drunk?
Well, no, you usually just have like 1 or 2 beers and then you.
Well, but I'm saying
or drinks, and then it's usually only 1 or 2 hours. If you go past 1 or 2 hours, it's either going really, really well or you're leaving
so
enough
you do
room
have
to
to
screw
curtail
yourself.
So you have to curtail your drinking. Like it is expected to just be chill on the first.
Yeah,
the first time out.
You have to drink, but you can't drink.
Yeah,
that
you
much.
can't show them how much you really drink.
Okay, so you go out, you have a couple drinks, right? You're out for an hour or two. Maybe we have 2-3 drinks. You're into it for what? $40-$50.
30-40.
30-40 bucks.
Or honestly, 25.
Okay, 25.
We're younger. We're younger kids, man.
Okay, then the second date. Second date rolls
Take her to a
around.
nice happy hour.
Second date
Take her to
rolls
the brick
around.
house.
Now what do you back into it for the second date? My point is, most of the time, if you're trying to get laid, unless you're just out for the one night stand, and a lot apparently the youngs you can't talk to anyone. So let's say you're into it for, by the time you end up getting laid, 2-3 dates into it, you're into it for a couple $100.
Sure.
The woman that you pay for, you don't need to spend a couple $100. I think that is the old adage is if what you're trying to do is get laid, you're basically paying to try to get laid down the road.
I get it now.
And you can just pay to get laid and actually pay a lot less if you just go into it knowing you're going to go find someone to make that transaction.
But wait a minute. You only do it once.
But what if
And
you're
then you
just
gotta
trying
pay
to find love? That's priceless.
Well, there you go. But that's the thing is if there's a difference between trying to date to find love and dating to try to score.
Right.
Hence the cheapest girl is the one that you pay for. And by the way, and you say you only do it once, get in a long-term. Think about how much money you've spent on Nurse Nice over the 20 years.
Oh my God.
And then divide that by the amount of times that you've gotten lucky. I want a detailed breakdown of what that costs per foot rub.
Yeah, it's not good, especially these days.
Exactly.
That ratio is not great.
Boom. So all of a sudden, the pay as you go,
Yeah.
But that's
it's like
not
the
love.
a la carte.
That's not love.
If you're smooth, you don't necessarily have to spend that much.
That's true.
Really?
Depending on the situation.
Walk us through that.
Hello. Nice shoes. Let's leave.
Oh, God.
So smooth. It's a real panty dropper right there.
I'm wet.
Could be worse.
Can you please cut that? Because that needs to be a drop. Yes, it does.
All right. Are we done here?
This show's going about as well as we thought it would go on the 3rd of July.
Let's go! I see Nemec over there. He's ready to party tonight.
Oh, he's doing his show? Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's right over there. I'm not going to tell you what he just signaled to me. All right, coming up next. I don't know. Here's Will.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on 1080 The Fan.
First on The Fan, trouble in Cleveland. Guardians right-hander Luis Ortiz is under investigation by Major League Baseball after a betting integrity firm flagged a pair of pitches that received unusual gambling activity. The MLB has placed Ortiz on non-disciplinary paid leave. Washington Nationals slugger James Wood is going to join Cal Raleigh and Ronald Acuna Jr. this year in the Home Run Derby. The Home Run Derby is going to be right before the All-Star Game on July 14th. Mariners looking to finish up their series against the Royals today with a victory. That would give them 3 wins out of the 4 against KC. Brian Wu on the mound for Seattle. Seth Lugo on the mound for the Royals. First pitch scheduled for 7:10. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Will Ortner from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
More, please. Golf in the Northwest with Jason Swigart is back. Saturdays at 8 a.m. before the Sinner and the Saint on Portland's sports leader, 1080 The Fan.
Isaac and Suk here with Ken and Donnie, the advocates. People don't know that it's actually not going to cost them a dime to use you, because people don't know that.
Yeah, it is surprising how few people know that. People that do what we do, injury attorneys, get paid. It's something called contingency fee.
I think it's great because it establishes trust right off the bat with the client. Our financial interests are aligned. And then, 2, it provides access to justice for people that can't just dish out cash every month and pay a lawyer.
You need more than a lawyer. You deserve an advocate. Advocateslaw.com.
It's the Great Notion Brewing pregame.
Hey, what it do?
Where you get previews of your favorite fan shows.
Try to tell you it's a little weird down there.
Great Notion Brewing. Keep beer fun. Visit one of their 3 local tap rooms. GreatNotion.com.
Damn, do they nail it. We know what you want, Daddy. It's swagalicious.
Find out what's on tap with the Great Notion Brewing pregame on 1080.
The wonderful philanthropic world, they're changing things. What did you just say? I don't know. I'm making words up.
The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the upper 50s in Portland tonight.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Not the 4th of July.
4th of July.
July.
Is that the best non-religious U.S. holiday?
Well, I'm trying to think of what else you have that's non-religious. So, yeah, so Halloween, Thanksgiving.
We have Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, Thanksgiving's religious, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
What's
it is.
religious about Thanksgiving?
I don't know, like...
No, it is not. The pilgrim sitting down to eat is not, no, that is not a religious holiday. You could try to rope it around there if you want, but it is not religious. There's no Jesus is not involved.
AI says Thanksgiving in the United States is both a religious and secular holiday.
Someone explain to me what is religious about Thanksgiving. At what point does Jesus or God enter Thanksgiving?
It
Other
says
than saying a blessing.
religious roots. Thanksgiving's history is intertwined with religious observances, particularly those of the Pilgrims and Puritans who held days of fasting and thanksgiving to express their gratitude to God for blessings and deliverance from hardship.
But we don't do that.
Well, but that's the root of it. I've always kind of thought of it as a religious
Have
holiday.
you?
Yeah.
I've never thought of it.
But
as
I'm
a-
not religious, so like to me, it's like
But Christmas, you do think of as a religious holiday.
very
You-
much. Well,
yeah.
it is a
Well,
yeah,
it's
that
Christmas.
very much.
Even though almost everything we do at Christmas is a pagan, which
Right.
I find fascinating. And the reason why it's on the 25th, the Christmas tree, the eggnog, the mistletoe, all of that is godless heathen stuff, which is fascinating to me.
Well, you would have Valentine's Day. That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
one.
Dude,
You would have
Valentine's Day is the worst.
You would have Mother's Day. You would
Yeah,
have
Father's Day.
Memorial Day, Labor Day. We missing any?
Well, Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah, I would say that's because Easter is obviously religious. Christmas is religious, and then are you taking Thanksgiving out? Or are you adding Thanksgiving in?
I'm going to take it out. I think it's got enough religious undertones. What about New Year's?
Ooh, New Year's is good.
Is New Year's better than 4th of July?
Yeah, New Year's is good.
Is it?
I
don't know. I kind of like 4th of July better.
That kind of slipped by me. Biggest drinking day of the year, right? Is no, that's the day before Thanksgiving. But New Year's
biggest
Eve,
drinking day of the
biggest
year.
drinking day.
Yeah,
of
it's
the
the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
New Year's Eve's pretty. If you told me, I guess this is what I boil down to. If you told me I can go to a kick-ass New Year's Eve party or a kick-ass 4th of July party,
well, now that
I'm taking New Year's.
That I'm with you, but I think I would take 4th of July over New Year's because I feel like the day it's just more day, better weather. More my vibe. It's more. I don't know. It's just more my vibe.
Yeah.
I don't like to go out late.
No, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm more of a night owl, so I understand the allure of 4th of July. But if you ask me which one I love, kind of doing, so you got two kind of over the top things, right? You either got the over the top America, or you have the over the top. It's a new year, new me, right? Turn the page, all that, like, anything's possible. I guess I like kind of the hope around New Year's, like the beginning. And you play a little, let old acquaintance be forgot. For Auld Lang Syne. And it's just, everyone kind of gathered together at the ball drop. And it just, I don't know. I think it's a more cohesive vibe.
Brings people together?
Brings people together.
It does bring people together.
If you're at a good New Year's Eve party,
Yeah.
at a bar or at a house or whatever.
It is a night where everybody just kind of lets stuff go.
Yes.
And we all come together for one thing, and that's to get wasted.
Yes.
Together.
And then pretend that we're never going to do it again and that we're going to be all new people.
Yes.
And it's like a rebirth.
Can I offer Mother's Day as a really underrated, awesome holiday? Because I really like
not at our house.
Well, now of course this is going to.
If you're part of the Dead Moms Club, it's like it.
Well, it's going. Wait.
My kids. It's hard to celebrate
I
Mother's Day.
thought you were talking about your mom. I'm like,
No,
wait, when
no.
did your mom die?
Moo's still around, but Mother's
Yeah,
Day.
no, I get that.
Mother's Day at my house is not.
Or just like the Mother's Day, like if you had a bad mom, I get it.
Your mom's a real bitch.
But Mother's Day is, if you've ever, I don't know, I think Mother's Day is delightful.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's a god dang delight.
It's when you got a nice brunch.
Yes, flowers.
Yeah, and celebrating.
Mom deserves it.
That's good. Yeah. Mother's Day.
Moms are
Whereas
great.
Father's Day is like, man.
Yeah, no one cares.
Leave dad alone.
Yeah.
Well, what do they say? Even the best dad is only an average mother, so that's why Mother's Day is celebrated a lot more than dads. Dads get maybe you get like a wrench or maybe like an impact driver or something and a bad tie, and you're like, whatever, Dad. But you're right. Mother's Day is until you're part of the dead wife, dead mom club. Yes, Mother's Day is sneaky underrated. That is, I will give you.
What about Juneteenth?
Hey, I do enjoy Juneteenth.
We're still kind of learning.
Still working that way through.
How to celebrate Juneteenth.
Yeah.
I golfed with a black guy on Juneteenth.
I know, right?
Took his money too.
Look at you.
How about that?
Unbelievable. Yeah, New Year's Eve, most people have the next day off. 4th of July, iffy.
True.
Although now it's Friday, so that works.
That's true.
But if you have a 4th of July like on a Tuesday, you got to go back to work on a Wednesday. That sucks.
It does suck. You're right. I didn't think about that.
Which is why the 4th of July should always be on it shouldn't be 4th of July. It should be Independence Day. And Independence Day should always be celebrated the Friday of.
I'm okay with that. I also have just now remembered that I don't always do stuff on 4th of July. Like, sometimes I'm in bed early.
Yeah.
With the blinds closed.
Yeah.
Like Halloween.
Yeah, we're not doing. Well, to be fair, you're like 1,000 years old.
Halloween is the dumbest. I'm sorry. Halloween is the single dumbest non-religious U.S. holiday, and it's not even close.
I totally agree.
It is so stupid.
The only reason that Halloween's good...
It's just for the kids.
Well, I bet you Will likes it because Halloween is the day where everyone can dress like a giant slut and no one judges them.
Yeah.
And so for the youngs, Halloween probably carries a lot better connotation than to you and me. But even if you go to an old person party, you still have the couple that just the really in-shape couple, and the dude always wants to go as like Tarzan or something so that he can take his shirt off. And then the wife or the new girlfriend who's like half his age, she's dressed as some sort of slutty whatever. And so it's the same principle. It's just that most of the time we get older, we have to cover ourselves up a little bit. But that's really the only reason Halloween's there for. I'm with you. Halloween sucks.
It's stupid.
If you had to eliminate one holiday,
Halloween.
You could chop holiday Halloween. I wouldn't give two craps.
Easily. I don't even think there's a close second.
No.
Maybe Valentine's Day. It's a Hallmark holiday.
Well, that's kudos to the BTJ. We don't even celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She doesn't care.
She gets it.
Well, because we've got anniversary and we've got her birthday right around kind of that same time, and she doesn't like going out on Valentine's weekend is a S show.
Yeah.
So we usually just do something kind of either before or after, and we kind of do like a nice rope in where you just kind of loop everything together. If you were with someone that was all about Valentine's Day and they wanted to make it a big deal, that would be hard for me. I'd be like, really? This is what we're doing? And really it's geared one way. Like no one does anything for the guy on Valentine's Day.
No, exactly.
You know, it's really Valentine's Day is a thank you for touching our penis holiday.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
That's true.
Yes. You know, it's like
one time.
I have to touch that, therefore you do something nice for me.
Which is fair.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to touch that. You know what I'm saying? All right. There's another seggy. We only have one left. I don't know what we're going to do. It's going to be a full one, though.
There you go.
Go ahead next.
Play some Myers Leonard is what we're going to do.
Let's live vicariously through Will and what he's going to be doing on 4th of July as a young...
You're going to be so disappointed.
As a young single. Let's guess what Will's doing for 4th of July.
Something with his hat on backwards, involving bros.
Hat will not be on backwards until daylight is gone.
Hat on backwards and a tank top.
Yeah, I can see a tank.
Not a tank top.
And
guy.
a white claw.
No, because I got to work.
No laws when there's white claws.
I won't be drinking until after 4.
We'll find out what Will's up to. We'll live vicariously through the kids next on
It's the last segment, and this show has been, dare I say, it's a COVID cast, if you will. Someone asked like what we did during COVID. You're looking at it right here.
Those were my favorite shows.
This is, I too enjoy a nice COVID cast. I don't know what we did. I'm trying to think back on what we talked about today, and outside of Myers-Leonard, I don't really know what we did, but...
You were old.
Oh, yeah, I was old.
You couldn't turn on the TV?
I couldn't figure out how to work the remote. But yes, when people often ask, like, what you guys did during COVID, how did you do it? And we say, dude, those were like our favorite shows. Those were our favorite shows. And like today, coming in and knowing it was going to be one of those, I love these.
We had a bit of a COVID show today?
Yeah, this was a COVID cast. And I missed the COVID cast.
Yeah. It's like we don't really have much planned.
No.
And we just talk.
Yeah.
I would like to know what Will is doing for 4th of July with his bros.
The boys?
Is that what you're doing? Going on with your dudes? With the bros?
Just one bro. Most of the other bros are at the beach or they're at a lake house or camping.
I've only seen Will out with his bros once in the wild, and it was a sight.
Was it a scene?
It was a scene.
You blocked me, man.
it was
Although you did buy
Did
me
you
beer.
C-block him?
Did I?
Unbeknownst to you.
Oh, crap! I didn't mean.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
I
handled the
bought him
situation poorly.
I bought him some drinks.
What did you do?
No, that's
What did he do?
Suit came in and I might have left someone that.
Oh, you were talking to me and you should have been talking to her?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I found out after the fact too.
Oh. Crap.
I like the beers.
Well, that's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. It's my fault.
It was an inadvertent C block.
Yeah.
I saw Will, and Will was out with the boys. And I know Will's a young guy, and it's
Where
like,
was this?
Some
club?
Yeah, it was some like hip bar in Vancouver. Oh yeah, 6-shooter. Well,
what? Wait, what?
Yeah,
What am I missing?
It's called 6-shooter.
Yeah.
That's
I was shooting my guns.
It's a very
in Vancouver.
It's a very broy bar.
Okay.
It's a broy country
It's
bar.
broy country bar.
Oh God! And you were in there?
Well, we were out with a buddy of mine. So there was a group of us, and we were hanging out at my buddy's house, and he was telling us about how cool this bar was, and we were like, dude, that sounds like the dumbest thing ever. And he's like, no, trust me, it's cool. And so we were making fun of him, and we were like, whatever. You want to go to this bar? We're in Vancouver, sure, we'll go. And we showed up, and it's a cool bar, but it is very, very broy. And as the night went on, we were like, okay, because we were there pretty early, and it was a cool bar. But
As
then
you should be at your age.
yes, but then the bros started infiltrating, and we were like, dude, it's time to leave. It's time to leave.
Boy, that's a great feeling.
Right? Like you sense it. You're like,
you know.
Yeah, you know. You know when it's the hour when the broccoli head is the dominant force in the bar. It's time to exit. But I saw Will, and I was like, and by the way, when Will shows up at the bar, that's the sign. You're like, I'm too old to be in this bar.
Right.
But I saw Will, and I was like, hey, I'll buy you some beers. If I see Will, or if I saw if I saw Schultze, one of the younger, I will buy them beers.
It was very nice.
But I didn't realize that inadvertently I blocked him. Will apparently should have been spending time talking to young ladies.
You already had a hot that you were
courting? I found out after the fact.
She was into you?
Yeah.
And you were just over there talking to this dumbass?
So, yeah, well, it got real bald, real loud, and real big, and we were buying drinks and hanging out and talking, having a good time.
Yeah.
And then apparently she was like, I'm not going to deal with this guy. He's found a friend. I'm out of here.
So you had already started to talk to her?
I've known her previously.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. I feel bad.
Yeah,
though.
that's not your fault.
No, it's not my fault.
No.
You didn't do anything?
I had much more fun with you.
You wouldn't have at the end had you stuck around. But yeah, it was a nice bar. But there is because I've had this happen where you're out, because I'm a bar guy. But there is a point in the evening at certain bars where you age out. You realize you just like, what is?
I'm aging out of that bar personally.
The witching hour starts coming around, and you're like, what is?
You're too old. How old are you? 20.
I'm 27.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
I don't love that bar as much as I used to.
You got to be careful.
That bar was awesome at 24. It's not so awesome
You're
at 27.
a creep in 3 years.
I will never be the oldest. But
it doesn't matter. You can still be a creep, bro. Trust me.
We were
been there.
We were on a pub crawl a while. We were on a pub crawl a while back. On Belmont, and Belmont's a great street to do a nice little pub crawl. So we started at Horse Brass. Shout out to the Horse Brass, great bar. with they make a handsome bread pudding. And then we were making our way down, and there's some hipster bars along that way. And my buddy sees this place, and it is super Portlandia. But there's a hot Asian bartender, and he's like, we're going in this place. I'm like, oh, my God. So we go in there, and the bartender's like 22 years old. Nice. And it's one of these bars that is so dimly lit, I can't see anything. I can't see.
So you have to pull out your phone to read the menu?
I was using the candle. They have the little candles.
No, you didn't.
Well, dude, sometimes you have to do that.
No, you don't.
You can't see it. Well, then how are you?
This is like telling the DJ to turn the music down, dude.
Are you serious? Wait a minute. Hold on before you finish your story. Hold on. If you walk into a bar or a even sometimes this happens at a restaurant.
Yeah.
It's dimly lit. And you can't read the menu, you're saying best practice is to leave?
Leave or thug it out, man. You figure that one out on your own. I'm not bringing out the camera. I'm not bringing out the light.
Oh, my God.
I can't read. The bar stool is this weird, it's a weird shape, and I couldn't figure out which way the bar stool went. It was this strange, I don't know, it was the most uncomfortable chair on the planet. And I was like, does it go this way? Does it go that? So I'm sitting there, and this bartender, this Asian, she hated my very existence. Just looking at me, she's like, "Why are you in?
Like, you don't belong here."
And I was.
That's your second sign you don't belong here. Do you want a third? Look in my eyes.
It was so bad, and I just was sitting there. Delicious cocktails, but every one of them was served with spite and with bitterness that why I was there. And then I made the mistake. So I was like, clearly she's not happy. So she comes over and slides a drink over. And she was wearing like a tank top, and she had a bunch of tattoos, but they were all like one-offs. And I made the mistake of just asking. I was like, I don't know, just trying to make some banter. I was like, hey, what is the, I was like, it was like a
it's like asking her what she's wearing.
Boy.
Oh,
and I don't even remember which one I asked about. I was like, hey, what? I was like, I like your tattoos. I'm like, what is that one? And she just goes, ugh, what does it matter? And I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't know. I just was asking. She goes, I don't know what it means. They don't mean anything. I just got it. And I was like, I'm sorry. I should. My buddy's just looking at me. I'm like, I don't know what.
Like, shut up, old man.
I don't know what to do.
Did you explain to her that you are dating the BTJ?
It was so bad. And then I got up to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't see which bathroom to go into because there's no light, none. And now I'm guessing. I'm like, so you're peeking your head in. Is it? You couldn't see anything. It's like
you did the guess and peek? Now she really thinks you're peeping Tom.
It's like a vampire bar. There's no freaking light. And I just was like, I came back, and the drinks were delicious. They had like a great cocktail.
What was this place called?
I don't remember. It's I'll have to look it up. It's left-hand side of the street if you're walking west on Belmont. And it's just
I'll make sure not to go.
Yeah. It's a hip little bar with great cocktails and a really, really bitchy bartender that doesn't want you in that bar.
Well, she doesn't want you.
Doesn't want me
in that bar.
In that bar. Yes.
She's not gonna want me either.
Dude, and my buddy just was like, he was just laughing the entire time. I was like, I've never, and I can work, like, I'll go into any bar. I love bars. I have never felt more out of place. It was like, I was like checking, is my penis, like, what did I do? It's like something hanging out.
What about your penis?
I was like, is something hanging out? Have I done something?
Well, guys, that's it. Don't blow off your hands.
No.
Tomorrow. Be an adult. Andrew Nemick is coming up next.
He'll have stuff to talk about.
He's excited about his show. I see him in there doing jumping jacks.
Maybe he can explain the toxic waste Devin Jackson thing.
I'll be listening on the way home. Be safe tomorrow. We are out. We will be back Monday, 3 to 7. Have a great holiday. Go America. Good night.